West show Joe Farragali's Grey Cup stance from Edmonton, leading with 14 points. 2 more than John Gregory's Saskatchewan Roughriders. In third place with 10 points, Larry Donovan's BC Lions. If they can catch up, they've got 2 more games with Edmonton and 2 more with Saskatchewan, tonight being the first of those. The Roughriders are on a 2-game winning streak. On Labor Day, they defeated the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and followed that up with a narrow 1-point decision over the Argos in Toronto. Meanwhile, the Lions are trying to rebound from a loss in Winnipeg last week that Larry Donovan called his worst as a BC Lions coach. Tonight, the Lions at home under the dome in Vancouver against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Canadian Football Network. Tonight's game from BC Place Stadium in Vancouver is brought to you by Carling O'Keefe Brewers of Foster's Lager. Petro-Canada dealers and agents. Our energy is Canada. And Priority Post EMS Courier, your better business connection in Canada and around the world. The BC Lions are a very different team at home and on the road. They have not played well on the road, but they are tough at home. The only other CFL team showing this sort of disparity between home and road records is Winnipeg. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to BC Place Stadium. I'm Dave Hodge. The Saskatchewan Roughriders came into this season saying 11 years is enough, 11 years without a playoff spot. Now they feel confident they can make the playoffs in the CFL West, and they'd like to make sure it's first or second place where they finish so they can play a playoff game at home in front of those great fans at Regina's Taylor Field. If Tim McRae keeps running as he did last week at Toronto, that's entirely possible. Let's join the Saskatchewan running back with Neil Lumsden.
Tim, you had great success running the football against Toronto last week. Why have you and the other backs of the Riders done so well on the ground this year?
Well, for one thing, we got a good offensive line in front of us, and, you know, those guys really did do a good job up there opening up the holes for us. And, you know, we work hard as a group during practice, and, you know, we see something that, you know, the other back is not doing as far as, you know, reading the hole or something like that. You know, we try to compliment each other and help each other and tell each other, well, hey, you should have made this cut and made that cut. So I think so far we've been successful on the ground this year.
You face 3 linebackers today, Stuman, Braswell, and Konar. They can make it tough on running backs.
Oh, yeah. They got a good linebacker core here, and I don't think it's going to be no easy pickings today. And, you know, I'm sure those guys are going to be ready, and, you know, we certainly going to have our work cut out for us.
Thank you, Tim. Have a good game.
Okay, thank you.
Now to check out the thoughts of the home team coach, we welcome officially to our Canadian Football Network broadcast crew a guy who's been covering football for many, many years here and will add to your enjoyment of this game and to our pleasure. Here's Tom Larscheid.
Thank you for those kind words, Dave. I'm certainly pleased to be a member of the broadcast team. Head coach Larry Donovan of the BC Lions, you're playing a very good football team tonight, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. How would you assess them?
Well, first of all, they're playing together, and that's always dangerous when a team gets that feeling that they can win and will win if they play together. The other thing about them is on defense, they've picked up a guy here and a guy there from a team that's played well, like Clausen from the BC Lions, Goldsmith from Calgary, etc. Put those people together, and they have a very solid, very aggressive defense.
Your football team started very fast. You've lost 2 of your last 3. You've been sputtering a little bit. What's the problem?
Well, we're not moving the football. When you don't move the football, you don't have much time on the field. You don't get a chance to do the big things that we think we can do with our offense. The thing that's so important to us tonight is to get our offensive line to come off the line roaring so that we can get those running backs running, and we can get receiving the football in the flats in the short passing game and get our wide receivers back into the game.
We wish you well, Coach.
Thank you, Tommy.
It's been a while since the BC Lions have been trying to catch Saskatchewan in the standings, but that's the case tonight. Dunnigan completed only 3 passes. The BC Lions had a total offense of 80 yards. Obviously, Matt Dunnigan wants to turn those numbers around, build on them. Kent Austin has been consistent with 200-yard games for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and is trying for his 3rd straight win. Clearly the #1 quarterback in Saskatchewan now. The Riders have got their hands on the ball first as Louis Passaglia prepares to kick off for the Lions. The battle for second place in the CFL West is underway. And here's a reverse that the Lions are not fooled on initially. Riders gained to the 35-yard line. Perhaps, gentlemen, an indication of how John Gregory approaches this game.
Well, it looks like he's going to let his team let it all hang out, Dave, as they go with the reverse. We haven't seen Saskatchewan do that this year to Fairholm, and it's a good thing that Walter Ballard of the Lions had good penetration. He got a piece of him to slow him down so the pursuit could make the tackle.
But a little bit uncharacteristic of what used to be a conservative Saskatchewan team.
Austin finds McCray for about 5 yards. Tim McCray, the big rushing star in the win over Toronto, catches a pass to start this game.
If ever it was a 4-point game, I think it's tonight. Both teams would like a victory in the worst way. Saskatchewan, should they win, they'd get some breathing room on BC and be right back in a first-place tie. BC, on the other hand, needs a win to jump back in the race.
2nd and 5, and Austin again throws well over the head of his intended receiver and the defender. No chance for that to be completed either way, as Don Narcisse went as high as he could. And the Riders, after the incompletion, will punt with Terry Baker.
John Gregory said maybe last week's game was the opportunity for his club to break the ice. They won a game that was awfully close, one that they normally or in the past might have lost. And I think Larry Donovan is just strictly looking for an increase of enthusiasm and intensity for his football club.
11 Lions are going after Terry Baker's punt. The 12th is Larry Crawford, who will field it. Crawford at his 25, and he is taken out there. The Lions offense, which sputtered, and that's probably the polite word in Winnipeg, who will try to turn it on in front of the home fans, who obviously read the statistics from the loss at Winnipeg and will be watching with a somewhat critical eye tonight.
Well, John Gregory said, first off, the thing we have to do is contain Matt Dunnigan. He is the difference, and comes into the game with a sore right elbow that can affect his throwing motion if it begins to swell.
A play fake and a long pass from Dunnigan is incomplete. He was trying to hit his big play man, the touchdown leader in pass receptions this season, Dave Williams. Interesting, the Lions are the leading rushing team in the league, and you do expect them to run a lot. They faked the run and went all the way for the bomb.
Well, people do expect them to run, and that's why they open with a play-action fake. Watch Dunnigan does this as well as anybody. Fake right there, puts the ball in the hip. See, everyone's still sliding in defense, and now he airs it out. And the ball's just in the air a little too long. Mike Magruder, 28, in coverage, does an excellent job.
Dunnigan flipped the ball after he was down. I doubt that play will continue. The Riders indicate they have it. They indicate at least that they have the sack, and that's the way it'll go into the books.
When Dunnigan arrived on the scene, he started so quickly. He was oozing with confidence. He had 3 great games to start the season. But after the Lions' performance last week in Winnipeg, when they only had 80 yards in total offense, Dunnigan completing only 3 passes, I don't think I've ever seen him so low.
Well, he's a very emotional player. I think everyone knows that by the way he plays, and he can get down. He takes the brunt of it on himself.
Good solid hit by Greg Stuman on the punt returner Joe Fuller, but he holds onto the wall, and the Riders are in good shape with possession. Center field at BC Place Stadium, the Canadian Football Network's broadcast booth. 3 microphones at work tonight as we again welcome Tom Larscheid with Neil Lumsden and yours truly, Dave Hodge. Early in the game, no score, Saskatchewan Roughriders at the Lions' 48-yard line with a first down. The first Saskatchewan running play, Tim McCray near the 43.
McCray is running as well as I've seen him, and the opportunity when it comes to him carrying the football, watch, he's going to go right, led by Milson Jones. He's going to take a shorter angle. McCray sees that opening, cuts up off Milson Jones, who did a good kick-out block.
He really has the choice there, too, to take it inside or outside. He read the block perfectly and took it at the hole. That's the way to run the football.
Boston 2 punts him down. Walter Ballard gets credit for the sack. So first down hasn't been a problem for Saskatchewan, but twice they have failed to move it on 2nd and 5.
Well, Walter Ballard makes quick penetration from this defensive end spot as Austin went back to pass, set up, took a look to his left. But Ballard was able to break through and get off the block and come right up the middle and sack Austin. That's only the 26th sack for the BC Lions, the lowest in the league, which is surprising, isn't it, Neil?
Something they've been missing because on a defense like theirs, they like to gamble, blitz people so they can go man coverage down the field.
Baker taking his snaps from a new Rough Rider, an old Rough Rider really, Bob Poley, returning to Saskatchewan after being cut by Calgary. And Baker put it out of bounds, which is what he seemingly was trying to do to nullify a punt return by BC's Larry Crawford. Bob Poley back where he started his CFL career.
Well, he played his junior football with the Regina Rams and then started, as you said, his career in 1978. He's a great addition. He looks pretty good in green and white, the old polecat.
The Lions did not attempt to hide the fact that they wanted him here in Vancouver. Tried to get him, but felt they just couldn't compete with the sentimental attachment that Bob Poley had for Regina. Deep in their zone, the Lions try to make the first down of this game. Nothing in fake didn't fool anybody. Running into the middle of that line is no easy business against Saskatchewan.
Well, I was talking with Larry Donovan yesterday. I said, you know, it seems to me that when the Lions have success, they go to Anthony Parker very early. And he said, but that's true about all offenses. If the running king can get going, it really neutralizes the defense.
Donegan kept it this time and is down inside the 5-yard line. Vince Goldsmith is the CFL sack leader. Give him another one for 14. And the Lions are right back at their goal line, very close to it. They'll put the ball down at the 5-yard line. The Lions in their hurry-up offense, which worked early in the season, but so far not tonight.
Excuse me, Dave. Goldsmith was not going to be fooled. He didn't take an inside rush. He has to be the outside containment. He watched the quarterback with his eyes all the way and was able to pick up Donegan on the naked bootleg for a big sack. Big play by Goldsmith, who's having a banner year and leading the CFL, as you said, Dave, in sacks.
Louis Pasaglia will want something better than 31 yards this time. A similar punt. Richie Hall on the return tries to get outside, and unwisely so, as the Lions cover it very well. Jeff Braswell, the leading tackler in the league, helped to bring him down, and Hall will get up slowly.
Well, Goldsmith is having an excellent year, but you see how when we showed the replay, he had nothing to do with the fake. He's reading his keys. He's not reacting to what might be going on down the line, but going through his responsibility. And Ted Heath, who's the coach just standing off to his right there, he really works on that with his front people.
Ever so slightly, the Riders gain on the exchange of punts. They're at the 45 this time. Again, a first down. That's about 5 yards for Saskatchewan.
You certainly can't say Saskatchewan hasn't had great field position to start their last two drives. Austin right in the middle of the field, you know, really having a choice.
Well, you know, that's been kind of the story of the Riders. They've been able to move the football up and down the field this year, but they can't get touchdowns. But they score a lot of points because they have a good kicker in Ridgway.
Give them 4 on first down, 2nd and 6, and they've got the first down, the initial first down of the game. Austin to James Hood out of bounds at the 28. This is the way the Riders offense looks when it goes to the ball. First of all, Kent Austin with Tim McRae and Denny Ferdinand, though those backs change. Hood caught that pass. He and Narcisse, the outside men. Elgard and Fairholm, good solid slot backs. And up front, it's a line that has been together. It's an all-Canadian group, and many consider it one of the best in the CFL. Mike Anderson over the ball at center. Yard 6 move for the first time. Austin rolls right and throws deep. Again, too deep for his receiver. Not too deep for Andre Francis, who intercepts in the end zone for BC, and Austin turns and looks and wonders how that happened.
Well, you know, a cornerback has to have speed, agility, and brains. And Andre Francis displayed right there as he covered his man stride for stride. It appeared to me that the Saskatchewan receiver broke his route, went to the corner. Austin thought he was going to go to the post. But by that time, Francis had already looked back to the football and stayed with it. An easy interception. And for Francis, that's interception number 6 on the year.
The Lions needed better field position than they've had in this game, and that's one way to get it. An interception in the end zone brings the ball out to the 25. Here's some gimmickry from the BC Lions, and they throw it too deep. And if anybody was going to catch that, it was the Saskatchewan defender, Harry Skipper, but it does fall incomplete.
Hey, put that guy at quarterback. Eric Streeter on the reverse. He stops, and he just loaded it up and let it go. Dave Williams has pretty good speed, Neil, but he can't run that fast.
When you talk about throwing the ball where you want the receiver to be, he gets a chance. He really does launch this baby, doesn't he? There's the receiver. He outthrows the receiver by a good 25, 30 yards.
Dave Williams looked up. He said, "You have to be kidding."
Streeter's brother Jimmy used to play in the CFL with the Toronto Argonauts, and he's a quarterback, not Eric. But Eric might have learned something along the way from Jimmy. An incomplete pass, the fans voicing their disapproval either of the result or of the fact no flag was thrown.
You know, Richie Hall really amazes me. He's the smallest defensive player in the league at 5'7", but he had excellent coverage that time on the Lion receiver, stride for stride, and right at the last second he looked back, almost had the interception. You can't play any better than that.
Just one of the the players that people have talked about that has improved this Saskatchewan team.
3 tries for the Lions, no first downs yet. The ball bouncing back toward the Lions and out of bounds, and again the Riders will start in BC territory. Foster's Lager and the Canadian Football Network are bringing you the best of the CFL. Entire package of crayons used there. We thank you for your work, and back to the game with the Saskatchewan Roughriders controlling the field position, but it hasn't produced any points yet. First down, Saskatchewan at the BC 47. Austin to Hood, he's got it to the 25-yard line.
Just a simple breakout pattern as Hood went down, made a little head fake to the inside, and Gooch has a lot of respect for Hood, obviously. He's playing him very loosely. Then he decided when the ball was in the air that he would gamble, and he missed. Hood turned it upfield, and Larry Crawford was there to stop him and prevent him from going all the way for a touchdown.
Maybe thinking that dragging that right hand, going for the ball in front of Hood, dragging the right hand behind and to hold the sweater might have been enough, but if it hadn't been for Crawford, the Lions would have been in trouble.
James Hood's left leg is being worked on as we look again at the protection for Kent Austin provided by Tim McRae.
Pretty good block on a 3-time Shenley Award winner, and Parker, as we all know, really bears in on the quarterback. He came in tough, but McRae just put the shoulder in there. You don't have to knock him down, just stop him.
No, and if you're going to sprint out like that against Ballard and Parker, you've got your hands full if you're a running back.
Hood's out, and James Ellingson is in on first down, Saskatchewan from the BC 25. Good protection for Austin. Deep. This is McRae. It's a touchdown. There is a flag back in the backfield, and that indicates that it's probably not a touchdown.
That's usually the area where it's holding. Holding. Saskatchewan number 64.
Saskatchewan will get another chance, but I think they had the defense they wanted with a mismatch of McRae on a linebacker. McRae simply just runs a wheel, runs a flat, then up the sidelines. Watch the coverage. It's behind. It's behind Crawford.
Oh, we know he caught it, and we know it doesn't count, and here are the Riders back with McRae running the football. Not much on first down. It is second and long for the Riders. They must get to the 15-yard line to make a first down. And as you can see, they're outside the 30. Lions with a 4-man rush. Austin receiver wide open for the first down at the 10-yard line. Good solid work by Narcisse to get an extra yard or two at the end of it, and there are no flags this time.
Just great protection by the offensive line of the Riders for Austin. Everybody was in the pass pattern. There were no blockers for Austin in the backfield, and yet he had time to look downfield, waited for his receiver to hit the soft spot of the zone, and he put it right on the money between the numbers. Narcisse makes the reception, and now the Riders are knocking on the door.
touchdown, Saskatchewan, Ray Elgard. They won't have him kick the convert, I don't think.
Boy, this is a fired-up Rider team, and we kind of sensed that yesterday when they arrived in town. They're oozing with confidence. They're very relaxed. They're having fun. And John Gregory, their head coach, all three of us commented how relaxed he was today. We haven't seen him like that. His team is playing like a team that's having fun and knows they can win now.
Well, something rare happened to him last night. He said he had a good night's sleep, and he said that doesn't usually happen.
The Riders went 47 yards in 5 plays and actually scored 2 touchdowns. The first wiped out by the penalty. Ridgway makes the convert, and the visiting Saskatchewan Roughriders take the early lead. Saskatchewan has controlled the first 9 minutes of this game and now has points to show for it on Ray Elgard's touchdown. Kick is fairly short to the arms of Anthony Drawhorn, and he provides a boost for the Lions, which they've not had from their offense, running the ball back to the 48-yard line. They'll put it down at the 47. First down there for Matt Dunnigan and company.
Ray Elgard hasn't received as much attention this year as another young fellow on the other side of the slot back position by the name of Jeff Fairholm, but I'll tell you, when it comes down to it, he can catch the ball in tough situations and in tight ones, as he proved there in the end zone, just making a great adjustment with his body.
Dunnigan throws a quick one. Got to get something going on offense, BC, with Eric Streeter, the receiver, close to a first down.
Only the second game for Eric Streeter as a starter for the BC Lions. He came into this game with just 1 reception for 5 yards. Byron K. Williams used to be the other wide out. He was cut loose, has gone back to the United States. Streeter now getting his chance. Has good speed. In fact, John Gregory said he saw him in a free agent camp and liked him very much, but the Lions were able to sign him.
John Gregory seemed to know more about Eric Streeter's ability, or at least to be prepared to talk about it, than Larry Donovan was. He said, when asked if Streeter is good enough, I don't know. We're going to have to find out. And the Lions do need somebody on the other side. Dave Williams has played very well all year, and his statistics, 45 catches, 7 touchdowns, show that. But the Lions, as yet, have not established a good threat on the other side.
What I find very puzzling about this BC Lions offense, Larry Donovan said he wanted an offensive team that would be entertaining, and they started the season like that. In fact, a few of us around here called it the run-and-gun offense. But of late, they have really been sputtering, as you said, and right now, Dunnigan is still having a difficult time. They don't even have a first down yet.
They're very close to one on this play, and Dunnigan will try to get it and should do that himself. The Lions have several different offensive sets tonight involving 5 imports apart from the quarterbacks. This is one of them, with one of those imports in the backfield, Anthony Parker, and 2 of them as wide receivers, Dave Williams and Eric Streeter, and another one, a 5th one up front in Donovan Fan at the right tackle. The other import of whom we talk is running back Reggie Taylor. When he comes into the game, one of the 4 you see there must leave. It gets pretty complicated, but those are the CFL rules regarding use of imports. Dunnigan had to look for a secondary man and did it well, spotting Dan Carinci, who made a good catch at the end of that pass.
They're looking at James Hood's thigh, and he's got a bad Charlie horse. They're trying to wrap it, as you can see, to keep some pressure on it. And more importantly, I think, to keep the swelling down, because once that swelling gets up, it takes away the movement in the muscle.
So the Lions have 2 first downs in a row after not being able to get one for most of this first quarter. Dunnigan saw the rush just at the last minute and protected himself in the nick of time from David Albright.
David Albright came on the blitz, and he was not picked up. He read it perfectly. He delayed for a fraction of a second, saw that Dunnigan was going to go roll out. Then he saw the alley there wide open. Blockers had already gone upfield further, and Dunnigan was a sitting target. Another sack for the Riders.
I've seen Edmonton do that with Danny Bass a lot. Just wait and hesitate. Wait till that sprint comes, and then a natural gap opens up, and you bring him through. You free up your middle linebacker.
Here they come again. Dunnigan saw it, read it, and runs very nicely himself. Matt Dunnigan will pick up the first down and more. Boy, it looked like he was fighting for survival and maybe 4 or 5 yards at first. look what it turned into.
Well, he has some success running to that side because on that side, Joe Fuller, the halfback, has come up tight and blitz. He's knocked down by Carinci, but look at this run. Great agility, gets that hand down, keeps the balance. Now he turns into a running back. They're one man short on that side because, remember, Fuller tried to come on the blitz.
Yeah, but the play was made because he was able to go up the middle. It's the tackle's responsibility, Clausen and Lewis, to always make sure that they're not burned on the draw. Defensive tackles are supposed to put pressure up the middle, but they must always look for the draw play. This time they were wiped right out. Clausen and Lewis driven right down the line of scrimmage. It was a big alley for Dunnigan to go up the middle, and of course, then his individual ability to open field running did the rest. And Dunnigan, of course, no one will ever question his competitive attitude that he brings to this football game, and he's a guy who's really been pressing of late. He knows that he has not been moving this team the way he knows he can. So we take a look now. Watch Clausen and Lewis, the defensive tackles. They get driven right down the line of scrimmage. A great block by Gerald Roper on Lewis in particular, and that was the alley that Dunnigan needed. I think that play was called in the huddle. I don't think Dunnigan did that at the line of scrimmage. I think that was a called quarterback draw.
Lewis wound up way downfield helping in the tackle. He is not supposed to run that far to end the play, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders really at the end had to worry about Matt Dunnigan scoring.
I think that says something, though, about the Riders' hustle, though.
And out of Matt Dunnigan from the 16. Here's some more trickery from the Lions, and Dunnigan pays for being a pass receiver or an intended pass receiver in that one. What does this say about the Lions? Now, we talked about John Gregory starting to play with a reverse. We've seen the Lions try 2 of these plays already in the first quarter.
Well, I think every offensive team goes into a week's preparation with something new, a new wrinkle. And the Lions have seen something, maybe a pursuit from the backside, somebody not staying home. Well, it didn't work out that time, and Magruder was able to get a good shot of the quarterback.
Dunnigan deep, we have a flag.
Well, this was interference all the way. If this one hadn't been called, I'm not sure what would have happened.
Saskatchewan number 26. First down.
Harry Skipper, he knew that Streeter had the jump on him. Streeter came down and made a nice move on Skipper, kind of turned him inside out. And an experienced defensive back will take a penalty in that situation rather than give up the easy touchdown.
Well, we know what John Gregory was talking about, that Dunnigan's the guy that the Riders have to worry about. He's had a big run. He tried to be a pass receiver, and now he's thrown a pass into the end zone that, because of interference, results in this field position, and Dunnigan's still doing it himself, running on first down.
That's an interesting call.
Yeah, I don't...
4-yard line, quarterback sneak.
Didn't even take a step back. I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of confidence, I guess, in his 2 guards and his offensive center that they can move Lewis and Clausen out of there. You almost feel that the play that he wanted to call, he looked at the defense, didn't think it would work, so he just lugged the ball himself. Not a very good call at the 4-yard line, I wouldn't think.
Well, Jim Mills is out, and he's being replaced by Larry Clarkson. Donovan Fan moves to the left tackle. Clarkson's at right tackle, number 67.
And Dunnigan will throw on second down. Touchdown. David Williams, 8 pass reception for a TD this season, and that might not have been what you'd expect on second down.
That's a good call, actually, and for Dave Williams, that's his 8th touchdown reception of the year. That's tops in the CFL. This is a timing pattern. Dunnigan just lays it up there, and Williams, it's one-on-one coverage against Magruder. Williams looking over his shoulder, had the step on the cornerback, easy reception, touchdown BC, and they finally got their offensive going, and we've got a football game.
Louis Pasaglia's convert makes it a 7-7 tie. Elgard scored for Saskatchewan, and Dave Williams, whom you see there, ties it up. He came into the league as Larry's son, Jeff, and now he stands by himself as a CFL rookie star.
I put pressure on myself. All the fans and all the media stuff didn't really bother me that much because I felt that all the pressure I put on myself was much greater than what anyone else expected.
And we invite you to stay with us at halftime for our look at Saskatchewan's number 18, Jeff Fairholm. He's the only Rider receiver who has not caught a pass yet in this game. The Riders have mixed it up well, and Matt Dunnigan has mixed it up well on the BC touchdown mark.
Well, before the game started, when the offense of the Lions was introduced on the field, the other BC Lions created a tunnel. They think that they know they need to increase their enthusiasm level, have some fun, get it back in the game, and get that intensity back.
We're going to win this one. Get back in first place.
Saglia's kickoff, Denny Ferdinand on the return. And it's a pretty good one to the 42, 43-yard line.
I like the way Ferdinand, when he gets going upfield, brings those knees up almost equal to his shoulders. He's tough when he gets open.
Ellingson still in for James Hood on the Saskatchewan offense. Don Narcisse at the top of your screen, the other wide receiver. McCray fighting, getting near the 45, but the Lions read that pretty well with James Quick Parker tackling Saskatchewan's top runner.
Jim Mills down with the ice on that left knee. It's diagnosed as a twisted left knee, so that'll keep the offensive line with Donovan Fan at left tackle, Roper at guard, Ian Sinclair at center, Jamie Buis at the tackle, and then rookie Larry Clarkson at right tackle.
And that pretty well rules out one of Larry Donovan's import options on offense. Donovan Fan needed now along the line, and so the Lions cannot have at the same time two import receivers and two import running backs. And this will hurt Saskatchewan if James Ellingson is hurt at all.
Well, there's the two wideouts. Hood already on the bench with a Charlie horse, and now Ellingson looks like maybe he had his bell rung a little bit. His nose bloodied. They're just taking their time. I think he's going to be all right.
But for one play anyway, the Saskatchewan Roughriders won't have a legitimate wide receiver in the game.
Ricky Foggy and Matt Dunnigan comparing notes on the sidelines. Larry Donovan said he would like to see more of Ricky Foggy, the outstanding quarterback from the University of Minnesota, who was really the #1 signing of the BC Lions this year. And he has a lot of natural skills, the ability to run like Dunnigan. What he needs is game experience.
Well, you're right. Donovan said he wanted to get him in the game as we look at James Ellingson with that pat on the nose.
And whoever did the damage has heard about it from James Ellingson. He stood out there a while and was jawing with members of the BC secondary.
And receiver Jan Carinci has got a bad left thumb, make it tough to catch the football.
Austin is down as the Riders had a fullback, David Conrad, playing at wide receiver. Mac Moore straight up the middle with the quarterback pressure for BC.
Well, we said something that's been lacking from the BC Lion defense. You see a stunt, Walter Ballard coming all the way around 79. That's where the pressure comes from initially. And then after that, Moore's able to slide in the middle of the pocket.
That was a nice looping stunt. Ballard, that's the second time he's blown through there. And he flushed out the quarterback, and Moore was able to get the sack. That was a very good stunt by the Lions.
Baker's punt will bounce and won't go out of bounds. Crawford waits, picks it up, and runs the other way. Got one block, needs another one. That's the end of the punt return and the end of the first quarter. We are tied at 7. Join us for one or both games this Sunday. Lions run on first down with Parker taking Dunnigan's handoff. Jim Mills not going to be back until at least the third quarter.
The concern there that he may have torn or stretched some ligaments in the knee, and they'll use the time at halftime to get a closer look at it.
Reggie Taylor's first run is a good one, spinning and turning and diving to the 40-yard line for a first down.
Well, this is the second time that Reggie Taylor has been in the lineup. Of course, Anthony Cherry has been their #1 running back. He's out with some bruised muscles in his chest, but this little guy, as you can see, he hits the hole very quickly.
A hurry-up offense, tough on color commentators, and so apparently on the Saskatchewan Roughriders as the Lions move the ball by going without a huddle to midfield.
Jamie Buis, number 69, the right guard of the Lions, tried to bulk up in the offseason to get a little bigger and stronger, and he says this hurry-up offense taking some pounds off him.
Here they go again. Looking to the bench, making sure of the signals. Dunnigan passes them along. This takes the place of a huddle and speeds up the game. This will be intercepted, or should be, yes. Skipper trying to find some blocks, and now to the middle of the field, he'll find some more room. The blocks give way. Harry Skipper loses the ball, and it's a good thing he had some protection. Steve Crane falls on it, and the Riders have it. A turnover for each side. BC throwing the interception to Harry Skipper, and earlier it was Andre Francis intercepting for the Lions.
See what happens when you have a rookie in the booth? Harry Skipper with his 4th interception of the year.
McRae runs on first down, not very far.
Go back and talk about Harry Skipper for a moment. Every interception he makes now, he moves ever closer to the all-time record in interception return yardage. He needed 38 yards to pass the all-time leader, which is Paul Bennett.
James Hood out of the game. Albert Brown, the Saskatchewan designated import, is in as a wide receiver. He is normally a kick return specialist, but is needed now with Hood injured. Elgard shakes off a tackle and keeps moving. He has the Saskatchewan touchdown in this game, and is to the 41-yard line as the Riders move in pursuit of another score.
Boy, I like what Elgard does after he catches the football. You know, he runs good patterns. He can catch the ball in tight quarters. But watch after this. Great protection. 5-step drop. Ball thrown quickly, but here, just watch him. I mean, he's just an animal.
And teams have been picking on the rookie Drawhorn all season long out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. The coaches are living with his mistakes, though, because they think he can be a player in this league.
Austin right on target. The ball is loose after the whistle. Narcisse hit by Andre Francis, but the Riders move the sticks again, and Austin is getting the time to throw the ball. You have to wonder if the Lions can afford to rush only 4 men and get enough pressure.
James Hood, the other wide receiver, got that bad thigh. They'll sit him out again till halftime, look at him a little bit more closely.
First down, Saskatchewan, BC 25-yard line. The crowd trying to get themselves into the game and help the Lions. Over the middle, another catch with Drawhorn on top of Elgard, but Ray Elgard physically stronger than Anthony Drawhorn, and that's apparent in the last 2 completions.
Well, these Riders, after missing the playoffs for 11 straight years, you can see now that they're starting to come together. They're playing with a great deal of confidence. Head coach John Gregory said if there's one area of the team that needs to come on, it's the quarterbacking. They need more maturity and better performance. I like this Austin. He's a cocky guy. He's playing with a great deal of confidence right now, standing up there, very poised in the pocket, and releasing the ball very quickly.
On second down, Milson Jones carries for the first time. And for a first down.
John Gregory gets many questions about his quarterbacks and the natural comparison between Austin and Burgess. And Austin right now is the #1 guy. Said this difference in attitude is Tom Burgess is a little bit more conservative, likes to throw the short, quick passes, whereas he said Ken Austin, he said, I'm going downtown. He likes that attitude.
He's a gambler.
Yeah, the cockiness.
Lions jump offside. Austin to the end zone. And the ball is picked off out of the hands of Elgard into the hands of Larry Crawford, but it's coming back unless the Lions were pulled offside, and that's clearly not the case.
Well, Austin thinks the Lions are offside. Ballard thinks the penalties against the Riders.
Offside, BC number 40, first down repeated.
James Quick Parker, watch him. He's going to jump the gun, and he's been called 6 or 7 times this year. Clearly offside on the play after an outstanding play by Larry Crawford, who has a great nose for the football. Elgard almost made a sensational catch. He tipped it in the air. Of course, Larry Crawford, if he can get his hands on it, he'll usually hold on, as he's the all-time leader in interceptions on this BC team with 49.
That's the wrong way for Quick Parker to live up to his nickname. 1st and 5 now, as Milson Jones will lose a yard.
Well, one of the keys to breaking up a good short yardage offense like Saskatchewan has is to get early and quick penetration, make that running back. It's going to your left. Stuman gets up in there. Even if he's sideways, he makes Milson Jones hesitate just for that second. And that allows everyone else to come in and make the tackle.
This is the zone of intense resistance. This is when the defense really starts to dig in. The offense, that offensive line in particular, really has to drive with their blocks, keep those legs churning. And this has been an area where the Riders have broken down this year. As I said earlier, they've been moving the ball up and down the field on most teams, but yet they're, I think, 6th in touchdowns scored this year. And you have to wonder if they're able to finish off. Instead of being 6 and 4, they very well could be 8 and 2.
Well, they score enough points. They just don't score them with touchdowns. Dave Ridgway, of course, leading the league with field goals, a big part of Saskatchewan's scoring attack. But if they could put the ball in the end zone more often, they would clearly be the highest scoring team in the league without any doubt.
Well, you'd hate to put that much pressure on the kicker, but Steve Goldman said before the game that there's still certain parts of this offensive team for Saskatchewan that the puzzles aren't in place, be it experience or just strictly time.
Austin has the ball batted down right back into his face. He looks up in the air in some disgust, and the Lions fans cheer what they wanted to happen, and that is the necessity of a field goal try for Saskatchewan.
Short drop. Austin's not going back more than 3 steps, and that's going to happen. If a defensive player can get up, penetrate, and get those arms up in the air, there's less chance the quarterback's going to get the ball over his arm.
Austin can't believe it. Aldag just stopped Moore right at the line of scrimmage, but Moore put that hand up in the air like a good defensive tackle will and made the play.
CFL's version of a gimme is this field goal by Ridgway. He's not going to miss from 15 yards, and the Riders are back in the lead. This game is brought to you by Foster's Lager on the Canadian Football Network. 37 attempts. And number 33 puts the Riders ahead by 3 in the second quarter. Dave Williams returning a kick for the Lions and losing the football, and it'll be Saskatchewan possession. The Riders to touch it last after it left the arms of Williams.
Each team has a player that usually dominates in special teams. In this case for Saskatchewan is Dan Rasevich, a native of Toronto. Here he comes flying down, number 74. You tell me he's not going full speed. Gets away from Coughlin. Nice little move to the inside. Keeps his balance, and this is hustle. Down on the knees, back up, get in on the hit.
You know, this is the first time that Dave Williams has ever returned kickoffs for the Lions. I don't know why he's back there.
Austin for McCray, and the ball hits him in the back. He seemed to run too far as Kent Austin is lying on the ground after being hit. It'll be a holding penalty against Saskatchewan. Austin gets up very slowly.
That's the same throwback pattern that Austin hit McCray for a touchdown that was negated because of a holding call against the Riders. And
holding, Saskatchewan number 44, first down repeated.
It's the same play, but only to the right side this time, one-on-one. That's the matchup you always want, is a running back against a linebacker, but I thought there was pretty good coverage on the play. Austin, of course, pays the price, but he hangs in there.
Well, in a play like that, you need some time to throw.
Lions take the 10-yard penalty, 1st and 20 from their 46, and now the ball comes loose again. The Riders fall on it. These teams have fumbled the most in the CFL. The Lions lead the league with 29 fumbles, and the Riders have now fumbled 28 times this season.
The reason this play didn't go, again, the defensive tackles of the Lions, I talked to you, their responsibility is not only putting pressure on the quarterback, but also to watch for the draw. And both Mac Moore and Belway played it perfectly.
Austin fires it deep, a battle for the ball, and it is incomplete. Albert Brown really playing past defender against Keith Gooch more than trying to catch it himself.
Saskatchewan, of course, very weak at the wide receiver with the 2 injuries to their wideouts, have now moved Brown, normally a defensive back, to wide receiver. He was going down. It was man-to-man coverage. Keith Gooch against Brown. Gooch had excellent coverage. In fact, Brown made a good play to prevent Gooch from the interception.
Gary Baker will take the snap on his side of midfield, and he'll kick the ball right from the 55-yard stripe, away from the returner. Crawford waiting, and they'll blow this one dead if he waits much longer. It is a single point, and a 4-point lead now for the Saskatchewan Roughriders over the BC Lions. In the first half, Lions down by 4 points with the ball first down at their 35-yard line. Big Larry Clarkson in the game. Jim Mills' injury makes a regular out of the rookie, with Donovan Fan going to the left side. Reggie Taylor went one way, then the other, and up the middle.
Well, you can see why Taylor, the quick in his ability to get upfield, when he was at University of Cincinnati at the Bearcats, he had 3 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Watch this. He's going to take it to the right. Nope, nothing there. Come back. Watch this move. Boom. Right up the field. Fuller's caught standing, but Fuller does force him up the field.
A quick second down call. Looks to have picked up the first down for the BC Lions, with Jamie Terrace in the game, taking Dunnigan's handoff. This hurry-up style intended to keep pressure on the defense and keep the offense sharp. Dunnigan at the last minute throws it, and it will be a catch out of one Lion's hands into another.
Well, if you can't be good, it helps to be lucky, and little Reggie Taylor, for a rookie, this is a very heads-up play. It looked for a moment, looked like the Rider front four was going to get to Dunnigan. Somehow he was able to scramble out of trouble, look downfield. Leckie was wide open over the middle. The pass was a little high. Leckie got his hands on it, tipped it in the air, but Reggie Taylor stayed with it, was able, that's the old tip drill.
If he keeps going, it's the CFL's version of Franco Harris's immaculate reception.
Well, Matt Dunnigan has to scramble around, but watch the shot he takes from Lewis. That can't help that right elbow, because that's the first thing that hits the turf.
That looks like Scott Leckie, BC Lions slot back down on the play, and he was the intended receiver from Matt Dunnigan, and he went high in the air, but he paid for it as he took a real shot right in the back, and he's being attended to by trainer Bill Richelt. He's being helped to his feet now, and both of these teams are hitting very hard tonight. It's a very important football game, as we said at the top of our broadcast. A 4-pointer in every sense of the word.
Matt Dunnigan has already completed 2 more passes in this first half than he did all day at Winnipeg in the Lions' last game, and is a much sharper quarterback than he looked in that game. Put himself more into this one with his running and attempted pass receiving even. And here's his running again. Nothing like the first time, but Matt Dunnigan gets close to the Saskatchewan 45.
I think if there's a criticism to be directed at Matt Dunnigan from time to time, is he tries to be a one-man gang. He tries to do too much. He's a fierce competitor. We all know that. But there's 11 other guys out on the field, and there's some talented running backs and receivers, and they want the football too.
Straight back, Dunnigan. Out of the backfield, a flag comes down. Jamie Terrace won't go down just yet as he goes to the 21-yard line. Let's see the penalty.
It's offensive pass interference, and I think it's against Jan Karinci, as he had some contact with Joe Fuller inside of where Jamie Terrace had caught the ball.
Offensive pass interference, BC number 27.
That's it.
Well, watch Jan Karinci now. Watch as he comes downfield, and right here, he pushes off on the linebacker, Steve Crane. I mean, offensive pass interference all the way. A very good call by the officials.
You really think that push-off is interference?
It's a contact game.
Oh, Terrace was down at the 21-yard line, but the ball is back at the BC 54. Cutting it, throws it up. Fans looking for some interference on that play as Streeter was covered by Harry Skipper. No flag.
The ball thrown over to your shoulder. You're going to see a great opportunity. Streeter working to the outside of Skipper. Throw it to the hole. And that's close. If Skipper doesn't turn that head a little bit, that becomes screening.
That's outstanding defense, though. Skipper stride for stride, and right at the last second, he looks back to the ball, and once he did that, the officials aren't going to call screening or anything else. That's outstanding coverage by the cornerback.
I wonder if he turned back because the ball hit him, and he knew it was there. High punt by Pasaglia, hanging up there and going out of bounds. Riders will have it at their 25-yard line.
One concern of John Gregory's for both Austin and a little bit with Burgess when he played is the ability to pick up the blitz, see it, recognize it, and then solve the problem very quickly and throw the ball to the open man.
Again, we mentioned the injury to James Hood, Saskatchewan wide receiver. Albert Brown in his place. Wilson Jones picking and looking for some room to the 30-yard line, a gain of 5. The Riders really aren't having much problem getting 5 yards with first down runs. Jones, McCray, Ferdinand, they all take a turn there.
Riders have developed an outstanding running game this year, and it doesn't seem to make a difference who John Gregory elects to be in there to run the football. They like to interchange 4 running backs. Of course, last week, Tim McCray got most of the work, but Milson Jones is their leading rusher.
Austin to the sidelines, and they will rule him inbounds. It is a catch by Don Narcisse for the first down, another close call.
Don Narcisse pretty close to being 100% according to the coaches. Straight drop, back protect, but watch how he drags his feet and knees, and lays the body out there. Make sure he secured the ball, has his feet in bounds. That's just a great effort. Makes you feel good, too. Some spring in his step now.
And Hood out, he becomes more important than ever. And so does the running game. Tim McCray carrying Lions at his back to the 47.
As far as averages go coming into this football game, the Lions and the Riders are have the best averages rushing yardage per game.
A little less than 5 yards needed for a Saskatchewan first down. McCray will make the first down, get into BC territory at the 50-yard line. And the offense pecks away and keeps moving for Saskatchewan. This is a Foster's Lager telecast on the Canadian Football Network. 2:48 left in the first half. Riders leading by 4 and moving the ball into BC territory. Austin faked the handoff, rolls to his left. Completes the pass. Ray Elgard, a big force in this first half. Ball goes out. The Lions claim they touched it last, but the officials don't buy that story. And it's another first down on a catch by Elgard.
Play action pass. Austin sprints to the left. He has great protection. Elgard's going to go down, covered by Stuman. He gets that little bit of a break, but he has to wait because Austin isn't ready to throw the football. And then when he is, who's there but Elgard?
You know what,
he doesn't go out of bounds, though. I like that, too.
No, you know what else he did, too? Stuman actually had pretty good coverage, and Elgard could sense it, so then he took it deeper, and he just ran away from it, and Austin put it right on the money. Elgard's having a big game, 3 receptions.
And the touchdown from the 18. Austin throws it almost in desperation. I'm not sure he expected that sort of success to Don Narcisse, but he came back to the ball, and the defender didn't come with him.
Well, Dave, the key to this is coming back to the ball, as you said. Austin has to wait, and I think because of the strength in his arm, he's able to get the ball there. And it might not have been there on the same time if Narcisse doesn't come back and shorten the distance.
Great poise by Austin, too, as he had somebody with his arms right around his ankles, but he stayed with the play. He got good velocity on the football.
They couldn't move it in from here the last time they were down close to the BC goal line. First down, goal to go from the 5, and that's the same sort of first down play they called, and the same result with Milson Jones going nowhere.
Tom, you and I in the commercial break said, why not, when you get down there, don't put your short yardage offense there. Keep your regular offense in, and that would widen the splits of the defense and then run the football, because it really does get packed in there.
It's just straight ahead blocking when you do that. You can't, it just takes so many options away from you. You can't run your traps or anything else. And everybody just looks for the fullback on that play. And it's tough sledding down there inside the 5.
Yes, it is.
Well, the regular offense is back in on 2nd and goal from the 5. And Austin will put it up for the touchdown, pending a penalty flag. Elgard has the touchdown as it stands, his 2nd of the game. Check the penalty from referee Ross Perrier.
Illegal contact on a receiver. DC number 14, declined, touchdown.
So Ray Elgard has scored both Saskatchewan touchdowns, and the Riders widen their lead.
Let's watch Austin here now. His short drop to his left. Now he's forced out of the pocket. Sees Elgard break to the middle. Wide open, his 2nd touchdown. What a difference a year makes for this young Rider quarterback. I remember when he came in here last year as a rookie, he was intercepted 4 times. Lions one-handedly. This kid has really matured in the last 8 or 9 months, and he looks like he's the quarterback of the future right now for this Rider football team.
Well, and you say, Tom, quarterback of the future, that's entirely the plan for Saskatchewan, to develop quarterbacks now who'll be there for a while. They don't expect they will find another Ron Lancaster. Nobody has in CFL history produced a better one than that, but the Riders want to have some consistency and want to have quarterbacks that play more than a year or 2.
That's how you spell relief right there. Touchdown.
Not Anderson either. Austin, 13 of 17, 205, 2 touchdowns.
Part of the reason for that, a lack of pressure from BC.
Well, on that throw, David, he had to do a pretty good job of swinging those shoulders around with James Quick Parker on his hip, taking him to the ground.
But with Parker as close as he was to him a second or 2 before the pass, I expected the sack to be made. And Austin had a little more time off the end of that play than perhaps he should have. Crawford, and where we are, and we hope your volume is up loudly enough to hear the contact down in the field.
Larry Donovan still trying to fire his troops up. He kind of feels it slipping away a little bit. A lot of pressure on the Lions head coach, particularly in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Inside of the block, and now uses his speed, and a good play to Dave Williams near midfield. More of those, and the Lions will have the fans out of their seats.
Well, Matt Dunnigan throwing the ball with some sharpness and crispness, still keeping that BC Lion offense in the hurry-up offense. That really has worked to their advantage all year long. Every time I've seen them, they've had great success with this.
Underneath this time to Parker. Working the same side of the field as Dave Williams, who tends to take defenders with him and leave the underside for Parker. Second down, Saskatchewan 49. Parker is taken down by Bob Jurison. A great play by the big defensive end, spilling the BC running back for a loss and making 3rd down.
Bobby Jurison is a complete football player. He had his best year ever a year ago. He was second only to Stuman in quarterback sacks. He has tremendous quickness. He's not overly big for a defensive end, but in the CFL, quickness is really #1. Size is, secondary, really.
Out of the Larry Kuharich playbook comes 3rd down gamble for BC, and Dunnigan will not get it. Well, he did catch it. No, they say no. They say the ball hit the ground first. And I'm not quite sure.
I'm not either. I'd like to see the replay on this one. We take a look right now, a very quick roll by Dunnigan as he throws to Leckie. I couldn't tell from that camera angle whether it hit the ground. It appeared it did. The referee was in perfect position to make the call. He was looking right at that side of the field. I would suggest that it probably hit the ground first.
Well, what about the play call? We're not sure of the official's call. The Lions go third down and don't get it, trailing by 11 points. Ferdinand with the ball in one hand, and he should have had it in two. And they will call a penalty for piling on to Kevin Koner.
Well, I'll tell you who else is in there. Braswell, Jeff Braswell, and everyone knows that this guy has had some difficulties this year.
Well, they could have called either player or both.
Well, a coach has to get a little concerned when he sees the ball. His running back here, look at this, loose in one hand. Koner does a good job. He secures Austin, and boom, right there.
The call's on Braswell.
Yeah, I think so. Koner could cover him, should cover him, but Braswell's hit was unnecessary.
Jeff Braswell came into this game leading the CFL in tackles. He's a very physical football player, but he's also been accused of being a dirty football player.
So the penalty moves the ball to the BC side of midfield, and some intensity, some feeling getting into this game, no doubt about it, with a minute to go, less than that in the first half, and the Riders up by 11 points. The Lions admit that Jeff Braswell, after suspending him for a game, is still not back in entirely good graces with his club. And as you use the word probation, the Lions would agree that that's where Jeff Braswell is for the time being.
You know, I said that he's been accused and called a dirty football player, and I think I should expand upon that, gentleman. He kicked a player in the Edmonton game. He's been accused of kicking two players, his own teammates, in practice. And, you know, there's one thing to be a hard-nosed, aggressive football player, but I don't think anybody has to revert to that type of conduct. When the whistle blows, it's over. And Braswell's going to have to learn to do that, or he just might be out of this league, and that would be unfortunate because he is a good football player.
Terry Baker punting well today for Saskatchewan. The Lions come close and might have got a piece of it. Not a good punt in any event. Crawford dancing around at his goal line. An obvious slip, and the flag finally comes now. The only reason Larry Crawford was able to move 10 yards upfield was that a Lion clipped a Rider.
Holding is the call against the Lions on the return, and I agree with you, Dave. I think it was more of a clip. You know, Larry Crawford, a lot of people might not think that he's in the class of...
block. BC number 39, first down.
He might not be in the class of a Gizmo Williams or a Pernell Moore or Earl Winfield, but a lot of people might have forgotten that Larry Crawford returned 3 punts for touchdowns last year, which is a new club record. He's kind of sneaky quick, isn't he, Neil?
Oh, he's tremendous timing. I find it interesting that all coaches are comparing their punt return people, the exciting ones, to the guy who has set the standard in the last few years in excitement in returning punts, and that's Henry Williams.
He is pretty to watch.
And pretty tough to stop.
He's waiting for Pernell Moore to come to his stadium on Sunday. Moore has 2 punt return touchdowns this season, and Gizmo just 1. Well, Donegan will play it safe and run the ball himself. Get out to the 5-yard line for a gain of 4.
With 19 seconds left, there's no sense in taking a timeout unless you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I was going to say taking any chances, but I think John Gregory has a better idea.
What a great job John Gregory has done as the head football coach in such a short period of time. The Riders, after making the playoffs 16 consecutive years, of course, those were the glory years of Lancaster and George Reed. But John Gregory coming over from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, along with Bill Baker, I think they've just done an enormous job, and football is back at Jolly Green Giants. Are playing the kind of football that they're used to seeing many years ago.
Well, he's got a better team this season. He admits that, and I think he would also say that he's a better coach. John Gregory clearly made some mistakes last season, and we might not want to talk about a certain game this season against the Toronto Argonauts when the quarterback change didn't work, but otherwise John Gregory has been much more in control of his team and himself. Jurison and Dan Carinci are into it now, and a flag comes down.
There's a little feeling down there tonight.
Well, Carinci playing that inside slot back spot does mix it up with the defensive ends and linebackers on many situations.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan, number 71, first down.
Let's have a look.
Jurison stepping inside, a good shoulder put to Carinci, and then just a...
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, you talk about feeling. Jurison just did an excellent job to take on Carinci, the slot back, drive him to the ground, which is good. Even give him a little belt, but when he came with the knee, that's just one step too far.
A little bit of all-star wrestling thrown in there, I think.
Direct snap, Dunnigan. Shotgun formation, very deep. 3 receivers in the area, which means a lot of defenders there. But somehow, David Williams is the guy with the ball.
6 seconds remaining on the clock. Saskatchewan had called the timeout 2 plays ago. Now it's going to backfire a little bit because of the penalty to Jurison. Isn't that always the way? Dunnigan just straight drop back, threw the ball as far as he could. But if you watch Williams, he knew that he was going to be in a jumping match, almost like a basketball game, at 6'2". A very talented receiver out of the University of Illinois, went up to the highest point and made the reception. That is a clutch catch.
But you know, this play's known as the Hail Mary. Throw it up, have a receiver hang around for a tip, but watch him go out for it right here.
See what I mean? Right up there.
I'd like to take another try at the tribute to John Gregory's coaching. Perhaps the timeout wasn't the thing to do there. The Lions were set to let the first half run out.
Well, he didn't think Jurison was going to take a major foul either, which he did. But mistakes and penalties can kill a team. They can hurt you, and it's certainly hurt the Riders right now.
He didn't think Williams was going to make the catch either. But that's what Matt Dunnigan was thinking when he threw the ball up. He had 3 receivers there, and Williams was the guy. If an acrobatic catch was going to be made, you'd think would be it. And so the Lions get 3 points, you might say. If they make this, it's not something Saskatchewan was banking on. And it is good. So if there's a psychological boost at the end of the half, there's supposed to be, it belongs to the BC Lions, who score on the last play of the half and cut Saskatchewan's lead to 8 points.
Well, I think there's still 2 seconds. They'll have to kick off, Dave, but I think if the Lions do come back and should eventually win this football game, this certainly would be a turning point. The Lions getting 3 points really shouldn't have even had the opportunity.
Lou Pasaglia happy to be back in Vancouver playing with the Lions. I know they're happy to have him back.
Well, John Gregory's second chance to let the half run out. He's going to take it and leave with an 8-point lead rather than the 11-point lead which he had. Bobby Jurison didn't help with his penalty, and the BC Lions cut the lead by 3 on Pasaglia's late field goal. Saskatchewan leads BC 18-10 at halftime.
It didn't take very long. In his first CFL game, rookie slot back Jeff Fairholm scored. It has been a common occurrence since then.
Starting every game so far has been an accomplishment for me, and being able to contribute like I have. I have 5 touchdowns this year, which I feel I'm very happy with, and I've actually contributed to the games. A lot of them, I've had a lot of big catches to win games, and hope I can keep doing it.
If the name Fairholm sounds familiar, it's because Jeff's dad, Larry, once performed in the CFL as a defensive back with Montreal.
He always gave me pointers and coached me along, you know, even down the Pee Wee, Adam, Mosquito leagues. You know, he always had a hand in it and was always helpful to help coach me in those little games. And he never pushed me into it, but he always helped me, and he was always there when I asked him to be. You know, I grew up around the Autostat in the old days, and I was just a little rat around there. The one big name that comes to mind would probably be Sonny Wade. He'd always come over to our house and play catch with me, and I'd always catch his punts. Even at 3 and 4 years old, I'd be down there shagging his punts and you know, catching the balls for him. He was a big influence on me.
The Roughriders made the University of Arizona grad their #1 pick in the '87 draft, the second player chosen overall. The last time Saskatchewan drafted second, they took Reuben Mays.
I put pressure on myself. All the fans and all the media stuff didn't really bother me that much because I felt that all the pressure I put on myself was much greater than what anyone else expected. I came in here just expecting to make the team and hoping to make the team, and I never really dreamed of starting the first game, but as it turned out, I did, and I'm very happy with my progress so far.
We've followed Jeff for probably about 3 or 4 years, and it was an easy job to do. He was a good player. He's been a starter all these years. His character, he was a solid man through and through, and as we started negotiating down in Phoenix and whatnot, I got a chance to meet his wife and his family and his father at the draft. And when you start adding all those things up and they start coming up tens, then that's the kind of guy you want to go after.
Well, I think he has a lot of potential. I think the thing that maybe separates Jeff from some other guys is that he does have the ability to go deep and also run with the football after he catches it.
I think he has the tenacity of a Ray Elgart type, even though he's not that big and he can only be so physical. But he is tough, you know, and he will take the hit, and he doesn't take a lot of crap out on the field, it appears, you know. If someone's going to push him, he's going to push him back.
After spending 4 years in the States, coming home to play in front of familiar faces is comforting. At last week's victory in Toronto, several tickets were set aside in Fairholm's name.
Well, I didn't purchase 70 tickets. I'd be broke on my salary. But it was a lot of fun to have all my friends from my high school there and all their girlfriends and wives, and of course having my family there and all their friends was a great inspiration to me, and it was a lot of fun playing in front of all those people. I haven't done so since high school.
Jeff Fairholm's introduction into the CFL has been a tremendous learning experience.
Burgess puts it up long. Fairholm has it, and he's gone.
It's Ray Elgard with 2 touchdown receptions in this first half. The Saskatchewan leads by 8. Scoff by Saskatchewan's Dave Ridgway. Ken Austin, a good first half. He would like to be leading by more than 8 points, and was until the second last play of the first half when Louis Pasaglia made a BC field goal.
Kent Austin, an interesting story. Once he graduated, he had an opportunity, as a matter of fact, 3 offers for scholarships for postgraduate work. He wants to become a lawyer, but he figured there's time for that. He wanted to take a shot at professional football. I think both his mom and his dad are happy he did. He's doing very well. He can become a lawyer later, I guess.
Kickoff is high, not very deep. In fact, it'll bounce. The Lions were guilty of some lack of concentration on such plays in Winnipeg last week, and were careful and quick, as it turned out, to pick up that ball.
The way Anthony Parker reacted when the ball started to come back, I'm sure that was called to the attention of the players too, Dave.
So Matt Dunnigan, who had a very active first half and a much better one than in Winnipeg, as the Lions down by 8 with a first down at their 32-yard line. Here's some more French pastry from the BC Lions. Carinci deep. He dropped the ball. He had a shot at it.
Boy, that's the kind you have to catch. The Lions looking for the quick score to start the second half. They were able to get a little momentum with that late field goal by Pasaglia. The flea flicker plays. You watch Dunnigan, gives it to Taylor. He tosses it back. Dunnigan, it's one-on-one with Carinci. Carinci has a step, and this ball should have been caught. It's a tough catch, I know, over the shoulder, but Carinci is a seasoned pro, and those are the kind of catches that you must make.
You wonder if that left thumb that was hurt again in the first quarter that's all taped up hindered him. But you're right, you got to make those catches. He made that one.
Yes, he did, and took a hit. And Harry Skipper up from the left corner spot to stop Dan Carinci short of the first down. The Lions will be punting.
Carinci just straight into the flat from the slot back spot. Harry Skipper flies up. He's still thinking about that one that should have been.
I'll never understand why a quarterback will throw a 4-yard out when he needs 10 yards on second down.
Louis Battaglia, wanting to average more than 30 yards a punt, does so that time. Richie Hall goes straight up the middle. Jamie Terrace made a tackle that prevented Hall from running a lot farther.
I'd like to pass along an injury report on the big offensive tackle of the BC Lions, Jim Mills, who went down with injury in the first half. The diagnosis from the team doctors passed along to us now. He has a partial tear in his knee. He will not be back tonight. Could be lost to the BC Lions for some time.
Riders first down at their 43. Austin scrambles for whatever he can get, and they'll throw another flag on Jeff Braswell for hitting the quarterback after Austin hit the ground.
Larry Donovan, obviously, BC number 44. First down. Not agreeing with the call, but Braswell once again a little bit too aggressive. There's nothing wrong with good, tough football. It's encouraged, especially by a middle linebacker. But coming in late, especially using the head as a weapon right there. Yes, that's spearing any way you look at it. I don't know what it is about this Braswell youngster, but I'll tell you, the word is out on him, and you can see that the officials know his number. And anytime it even looks close to an infraction, it's going to be called. But that was spearing all the way. A good call by the referee.
Austin pitches to Tim McCray. Good run by McCray to the 38. He's close to another Saskatchewan first down.
Tom, you know, you just said the word is out. You know, another thing that happens in a situation like this is the players start to look for him. They want a shot. Here's a good example. He's just squawking back at the official.
He's had, what, 5 or 6 objectionable conduct penalties. He's really lost his cool now. He overran the play. Good cut back by the running back, McCray. You get the feeling right now that Saskatchewan senses that they've got the BC Lions on the go now. Lions are starting to lose their poise. This Rider team, which is a young team, has been coming together. A big win in Toronto last week. John Gregory told us that he's hoping he might be able to look back to that victory over the Argos as maybe the pivotal game, the game that got this young Rider team over the hump.
And he could be right, because a lot of those games, I think we're looking at Ken Moore on the ground holding that right leg, left tackle for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And that's something that the Riders have been able to stay away from this year, is injury. Not only along the offensive line, but throughout the team. That's a tough blow, because Moore's been playing very well.
Not tonight. Hood is hurt, and now Moore.
Dave, you mentioned that Jeff Braswell is on probation. I'm just wondering, by his performance here tonight, this might be the last game we see of him in the uniform.
Eyebrows were raised prior to the game when Larry Donovan said there is a defensive set which finds John Ulmer coming into the game and Greg Stuman going to the middle in place of Jeff Braswell. It is not common that you'd take the leading tackler in the league out of the game for any such reason. Here's a guy. Did you ever lead the league in tackles, Bill Big? You tackled
I made
quarterback.
A couple, but those spearing the quarterback, I'm glad to see the league cracking down, and we've talked about it. And we've, you know, even though I'm an old bad guy, even our guys, we've said, hey guys, let's play within the rules.
You're not an old bad guy, were you?
I didn't think I was, but other people did. I disagreed with Kimbo my whole career.
Well, the head slap was always very good for you, but they took it right out of the game.
No, the head slap in those days and the clothesline were both legal. That's when it was fun to play.
Seriously, though, Bill, I think you would concur that Jeff Braswell's an outstanding football player, but how do you get him to get away from this kind of conduct?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know what happened here at BC 10 days ago when he kicked a couple of his own players right you-know-where, and that resulted in BC taking action on him because of the Edmonton game, and now, I mean, the guy's either got to play or get out of the league because you just can't afford to have him in the league unless he conforms.
Well, it's the lack of discipline in his performance that not only hurts him and is bad for the team in the league, but it hurts the team. Ultimately, the ones that suffer is the defense, and now they put themselves in a corner.
Oh, if he was our player, I mean, right now you're saying, where's the gun? Let's shoot the guy. I mean, the guy hurts you more than he helps you, and I hope the guy's a great athlete, he's a great player. I hope he starts to conform and starts playing within the rules. He'll help the BC Lions. He'll help the CFL.
Right. You have to be pleased with the enthusiasm that your football team is approaching this game.
It's a wild game, with that last minute of the first half almost killed me. I mean, these guys, they got to bring a doctor for the team and a doctor for me. These guys are trying to kill us. I mean, every game we have is like this. I can't take it.
Well, you're under the spending ceiling. You could probably afford another doctor.
We need a doctor bad right now. Look at this. I mean, here we go again.
Turnover. Larry Crawford has the ball, and Bill, your appointment is next, I think.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this happens to us all the time.
Bill, I'd like to put you on the spot a little bit. We'll take a look at the play as Austin is flushed out of the pocket. He's stripped of the ball by defensive tackle Mac Moore, and Larry Crawford again with his second turnover. He also has an interception. Let me put you on the spot a little bit, Bill. Do you have any desire to be the new commissioner of the Canadian Football League?
No, I don't. And I really say this, sir, there's a lot better guys. I think the guy the new commissioner should prefer to be a guy from Eastern Canada who's got a lot of Eastern connections, both with big business and well with politics. I think that I'm just fine where I am, and I say that very serious, Tom. We need a guy. In my mind, the external job, the commissioner's job, is the external part of the business.
A lot of the football,
it's the big business side.
A lot of the football people I talk to, though, Bill, think you would make an excellent commissioner. If they were to come and seek you out, would you consider it?
No, I wouldn't right now. I think I'm the wrong model. I think I'm a nuts and bolts guy. I don't think I'm the right guy for the commissioner's job right now.
And maybe because you've done such a good job in Regina turning things around, not only on the field, but in the something that new, the store, selling the paraphernalia. I mean, you're doing all the right things.
No, I say I'm an operations guy. I think we need a high-profile external business guy who deals with politics and deals with big business. That's the guy we need.
Very quickly, do you have any idea who will be the new commissioner?
No, I don't. If I did, I wouldn't tell you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the ball is at midfield, and it's third down. And now where's the ball? Everybody's tugging away at it. The whistles are blowing and have been for some time. So we would assume that the ball came loose after the play. Well, if Bill Baker moves to Toronto and gets to know some people, maybe he fills his own requirements and we can still get him selected as the commissioner. An Eastern-based person with a lot of contacts is what he thinks is needed.
Well, I think looking back on the field now, we're seeing a lot of intensity. We're seeing the Riders' arms in the air as if they held them in the short yardage. You saw Matt Dunnigan squirming to reach that first down mark, but they're going to measure it just to make sure.
Well, I'll tell you, the Boo Birds will really come out here when you can't make short yardage like this, and fans are a little testy here tonight at BC Place.
Oftentimes, it seems so automatic. On third down, you just sort of fall forward and you think you're going to get the kind of blocking you need. But a lot of teams are missing these plays. Look at that. Rick Clausen had to be the one to do it. Foster's Lager and the Canadian Football Network are bringing you the best of the CFL.
The guy fit the shoes. It's Ray Elgart. Tough to bring down after he catches the ball. He's a load.
Quick Parker there quickly to stop Nelson Jones.
James Parker getting better every time he plays the game, according to Larry Donovan. That knee is not yet 100%. He says he's just real tough when he has to go right at a quarterback. But if the quarterback starts to scramble and sprint, he still has a tough time adjusting.
Second down, and here's some pressure from BC. Ballard provided it first. And Stuman was a blitzing linebacker who got there last.
And there was some confusion, I think, between the right guard and the right tackle of the Riders. That's Illebrun and Stevenson. They were talking about it after the play. They were just clearly beat, and I think they picked up the wrong play. We see it now. The Lions coming with the blitz. Ballard took the inside rush, and Aldag took a step to the outside. Ballard came in where he was supposed to be, and that's why Austin was a dead duck.
Ridgway from 46 yards will try to get the 3 points back that the Riders gave up late in the first half. And he missed it. Crawford has a choice, and now he doesn't. He's down, and it's a single point for Saskatchewan. The Riders were up by 8, and now the lead is 9.
It's a good look at James Ellingson, number 85, who took a shot in the first half in that nose, and I'd say if it isn't broken, it must be pretty close.
Dunnigan to the sidelines, and he's found Eric Streeter. Streeter with his head down, showing some aggressiveness, getting extra yards near midfield.
Well, Eric Streeter, as I said, this is only his second game as the Lions, and it's just a simple out pattern as the secondary of the Riders is playing off him. He was able to make the reception, turn upfield, and get the first down. And I think the Lions need to establish something now. Get first downs, get some confidence back.
Running into the other side. Good hit on Williams by Skipper, but the catch is made, and he's within a yard or two of another first down.
And don't think Dunnigan isn't thinking he'll go with this short passing game to the outside, and if the opportunity presents himself, he'll send somebody deep on a post pattern and might try to go for the home run. But right now, the Lions need to establish themselves offensively, keep the football away from the Riders, and score points in the process and get back into this game.
Reggie Taylor will get the first down. And now some aggressiveness after the whistle by Terrace brings a response from the Riders.
I think I saw a little kicking there, too, from the middle linebacker of the Riders, Albright. It wasn't detected by the officials. No penalty on the play.
Dunnigan to Streeter. Out, they say, at the 29 for another BC first down. So the offense clicks. Fast-moving offense. BC injury will hold things up. After we look at this play again, it is one of the offensive linemen hurt.
One of Gregory's concerns as we look at Ken Moore at the ice on that right leg is having Matt Dunnigan get on a roll.
It's been a tough night for offensive linemen.
Gerald Roper was limping, but is still in the game. Here's Reggie Taylor. Taken down by Vince Goldsmith, but it's close to another BC first down.
Well, I'll tell you, it's nice when you can mix the run with the pass, and this is the first time, I think, in the ball game that the Lions have really showed some consistency on offense. Dunnigan has the Riders guessing right now.
Dunnigan throws it up. Williams runs under it and catches it. Touchdown over Skipper.
We've seen this play. Dunnigan looks. He's going to look right to his right. Three-step drop. Lay it over the shoulder to the outside. Pass Skipper so Williams can adjust. You see there was 2 or 3 yards so Williams could slide towards the sideline, adjusted the ball, and he grabs a big one.
And we've just witnessed a superb job of directing a football team by your quarterback. Matt Dunnigan, very sharp, mixing his plays, and then throwing the perfect strike to Dave Williams, his second touchdown of the night.
This CFN game is brought to you by Foster's Lager. Guard and touchdown passes for this game. They each have 2, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a 2-point lead. Riders with Ferdinand returning the kickoff of Louis Pasaglia to the 46-yard line. And on comes Kent Austin of the Saskatchewan offense. The game just as close as these teams are in the standings.
The man who leads with emotion. 3-step, nice delivery over the shoulder. He can tell you if it's good.
First down Riders for the 45. A flag quickly goes down. So does Narcisse after he makes the catch up at the 50.
Interesting to see how the Saskatchewan offense responds to that last drive of the BC Lions.
No penalty.
That was a great call.
Well, he was practicing, I guess. I'd like to go back to that last drive by the BC Lions and the leadership of Matt Dunnigan. It's that kind of play, and as you know, Neil, you've played the game. When a quarterback can take charge like that in a tough football game, For a while there, it looked like the Lions were going to let it slip away. They were on the ropes. They're very much back in this football game because of number 16.
That's right.
And it's intercepted. Fairholm makes the tackle on Anthony Drawhorn.
Well, they're romping and stomping right now at BC Place Stadium. These fans have come alive. The rookie Drawhorn, we told you he's been picked on a lot this year. The coaches like him, though, and this is why. He broke nicely right on the ball, had good coverage on Fairholm, and Fairholm did a good job to prevent him from running it all the way back for a touchdown. But watch out, the Lions are on a roll now.
See if Dunnigan can keep the offensive momentum going. Sets up a screen to Parker. He's inside the 15-yard line. Suter with a tackle. The Lions 2 points down and ready to take the lead.
What a great call. If you remember Dunnigan on the last series, he was taking the short drop, only 2 and 3 steps. This time he went back 3, paused, then went back about 5 more, allowed Parker to get out in the flat with his pulling lineman. A perfect call at the right time. Parker did the rest.
And they're staying in that hurry-up offense. They're not going to give the Rider defense a break.
27 yards on the screen pass to Tony Parker. It's first down at the 14. Dunnigan to the 2-yard line, up about the 5 when the catch is made by Scott Leckie, and it's first and goal.
Well, this is turning into a great football game, guys. This is what we expected. Two teams who very much have an opportunity to finish first in the West, certainly to make the playoffs, and they're playing this one like a playoff game. This is what the fans pay good money to see, too. Entertainment like this.
First catch of the game for Scott Leckie gives the Lions first and goal. And the leading rushing team in the CFL is living mostly by the pass in this game. The BC Lions, the team to which I refer. Dunnigan's passing has been crisp in this second half. It is not a first down, but rather second down. It is a touchdown for Reggie Taylor.
Down in close, the BC Lions choose to stay with the regular offense to go for the sweep, but look at the splits. They're spread out. They're not bunched in. Gives the offense a better chance and better angles blocking, but I don't think you can say much about that except an excellent effort by Reggie Taylor, getting to the outside, getting his shoulders and helmet upfield and getting in the end zone.
And a beautiful lead block by the fullback, Anthony Parker,
which he does so well.
Louis Pasaglia's convert makes the score BC 24 and Saskatchewan 19. We pause 10 seconds for the stations from coast to coast to identify themselves. You're watching the Canadian Football Network.
Enabling Taylor to cut it back into the end zone, but certainly the key initial block was provided by the fullback, Anthony Parker.
It's this sort of excitement that the Lions have been able to generate in the Dome that I think has helped them win so many games in this stadium. The fans, when they are involved, do help the home team. There's little doubt of that. And the Lions have often provided this sort of spark by their defense, but this season the offense has shown this sort of ability to take over a game. This could go out of bounds as well. Well, the Lions march back and try it again.
You know, you're talking about the 13th man, the home crowd, and Dave, you know, I've been a broadcaster with BC Lions on radio, and really one of the great experiences I had is when this Dome was sold out in 83 and 84, particularly the playoff games, and the noise, the din is just unbelievable, and it has to be a big advantage for BC.
We should point out, though, that it doesn't have to be full to be noisy here.
No, that's right. It's noisy tonight. What would you estimate the crowd?
Well, I have 30,000 plus, I suppose. And Louis Pasaglia has got to stop kicking it to the ones in the front row down here.
Well, the kickoff cover team are about ready to throw their arms in the air if this one doesn't stay in bounds. Whoop.
Well, they can't afford to let that bounce. It was kicked too deep. Ferdinand spinning to the 49-yard line. They'll probably give him the 50-yard line, so good field position for Saskatchewan. But now it's up to Kent Austin and the Riders to reestablish the offense that has been largely missing in this third quarter.
Well, something that Austin had some success with earlier on was throwing over the middle to Elgard. But you can't throw the football if you haven't got time, and I think that offensive line is going to have to gather themselves together a bit, pick up the stunts a little bit better, and settle down.
Elgard dropped the ball. They say incomplete, not catch and fumble.
Oh, that's a close call. For a moment there, I thought Elgard had possession. A quick whistle by the officials. Let's watch it now. Elgard on a straight look-in pattern. A short drop by Austin. He breaks it in. Watch it now. Does he have it? It looked like he put it away, and he was stripped by Konar of the football. Nonetheless, the Riders get a break there.
No, turnover is not what they would have needed after the Drawhorn interception led to the last BC touchdown. The Riders have to protect this ball. Braswell makes the tackle, makes it hanging on to Tim McRae, not letting him turn and go upfield. So a very short gain will bring Terry Baker on for a Saskatchewan punt.
Braswell plays this pretty well. He's out behind McRae now. He doesn't over-pursue. McRae tries to anticipate and feel that there's a man behind him. Just as he's catching the ball, he spins inside, but Braswell gets an opportunity to put the brakes on and show his strength by pulling him down with one arm.
Crawford back for BC by himself. Baker trying to kick it away from him and make Larry Crawford run. And Crawford has to watch it go out of bounds, so that's a pretty good punt from Terry Baker's perspective. Inside the 15-yard line, no return.
Well, I don't think there's any question, watching this game with us, the momentum has shifted drastically in this game. The Lions now seem to be on top of their game. And what a learning experience for this young Rider team, too. Here they had a game that appeared to be pretty well in control, and all of a sudden it slipped away from them. Neil, you've been in games like this. It's an eerie feeling when you let it go, too, isn't it?
It is, and I think you have to get more out of your offense right now. Going in for two plays, getting out and getting the ball back into the Lions' hands and Matt Dunnigan's hands is potentially pretty scary. The offense is going to have to hold on to it.
Dunnigan 8 of 9 in the third quarter alone. He drops the ball. That's a loose ball, and it's a Saskatchewan touchdown in the arms of Gary Lewis.
Well, so much for momentum. It has shifted again. And who would have thought it? Matt Dunnigan had his receiver open. It looked like he was going to pull the trigger, and for whatever reason, he decided not to throw the football. What a great play by the Riders.
I think he decides because the coverage is there. Good job by the defense. Heads up, watch this. He's going to knock it in the end zone. Then go get it. One bounce, and he's on the run.
And you know who made the big play? The former BC Lion tackle, Rick Clausen, who is so fired up for this football game. He came to the stadium at 3:30 this afternoon. And he is playing, like he said when he was traded, like an untamed pit bull.
Ridgway's convert puts Saskatchewan back in front. The Lions lead didn't last long, and Rick Clausen indeed punched the ball out of Matt Dunnigan's arms, and Gary Lewis was the guy who gets the touchdown. Clausen the credit.
Well, you're going to see Dunnigan come out, as you said, Tom, pull up. He wants to throw to his left. Right about here, he's ready to let the ball go, but the coverage, the defense is sliding. There's no place to go, and Rick Clausen, he does it. He's not splashy, not spectacular, but you look for big plays, you can bet he's going to be around it.
And what a job he did handling offensive guard Jamie Buis. Clausen took him right on at the line of scrimmage. You know, a defensive lineman has to have that initial contact, but then he must use his hands and his legs. Clausen, that was vintage teaching film right there. He took on the guard, shuck him off, and went right to the quarterback and made the big play and stripped Dunnigan of the football.
He's not too excited about this game, is he?
He's sky high.
Lions have turned the ball over 4 times. The first 3 really didn't hurt them too much, but this could be devastating. That turnover directly turning into 7 points.
Well, Matt Dunnigan leads the CFL in a number of categories in the offensive department, like attempted passes, completions, touchdown passes, and so on, but he also leads in the most fumbles. That was his 10th fumble of the season. This, the 11th game.
Well, we said earlier, these teams are 1-2 in fumbles in the league. BC number 1 and Saskatchewan number 2. One of those categories you don't want to lead, and that's as damaging a fumble as there can be when it results in a touchdown.
This is a sight Saskatchewan fans have to be a little bit concerned about. Jeff Fairholm receiving some attention on that right ankle.
Well, we had a feature on this outstanding rookie for the Riders at our halftime intermission. He came from a passing offense college, which is rare these days, the University of Arizona. And talking to the Rider coaches and people who follow the team all year long, said maybe he's the most promising rookie they've had in 6 or 7 years.
Don Gregory can't look favorably upon this development as Fairholm limps off. In the third quarter, after Dave Ridgway made a single, the Lions struck for an 18-yard TD to David Williams over Harry Skipper, and then took the lead on a 5-yard run by Reggie Taylor. Anthony Drawhorn's interception starting that drive. And just moments ago, Matt Dunnigan fumbled after being hit by Rick Clausen. Here's Dunnigan running. Boy, this BC offense is a whole lot of Matt Dunnigan tonight, isn't it?
It really is, Dave, and you know, it can be very unsettling, unnerving when you drop a football like Matt did. Here he was able to turn the game around, and now he gives it right back to Saskatchewan. He has to maintain his poise and get this BC Lions offense moving again.
Something that's interesting, they go back into the huddle. They didn't go back right into their hurry-up offense that has been so successful.
And now they run with Reggie Taylor the other way. Will do better. And the Riders finally catch up to him at the 35-yard line. So after disdaining the run for so long in this third quarter, they go back on second down with a running play, and it doesn't work at all.
See Clausen on the inside, right at the top. Lowe gets early penetration. He can't be blocked by Jamie Buis, but then good pursuit angle. Clausen doesn't go downfield and chase sideways. He goes laterally, lets the play come to him.
And his read was the offensive guard. The minute the guard pulled, he knew it had to be a running play to the wide side. Clausen went right down the line of scrimmage. He's playing a whale of a football game tonight.
Low snap and a short punt by Pasaglia. Fuller on the run to the 54-yard line. Again, good field position for the Saskatchewan offense, which tries to build on a 2-point lead.
It was looking for a while there like the BC Lions. Matt Dunnigan and Larry Donovan were just going to start to run away with it. But it's funny how quickly things can turn around as Bob Jurison gets that left calf, and a big one, I might add, massaged by Ivan Goodfriend, the athletic therapist of the Riders.
So the Riders have regained the lead. It's not because their offense is back in gear. And McCray gets a short gain to the Lions 54 on first down.
You know, I'd like to make a comment about James Quick Parker. He is coming off really what could be or could have been a career-ending injury. Parker off the football very quickly. He gets a piece of McCray. He wasn't able to hold on. But, you know, this guy was one of the greatest football players I've ever seen when he was right, Neil.
And he's a class act to boot.
What a catch if they rule it, Nelson. Narcisse had his hands on it, and it would have been a great catch if he'd been able to pull it in and not let the ball hit the ground, but Don Narcisse could not do that.
You know, I think Andre Francis is a very underrated cornerback. He is the fastest player on the team. He's a legitimate 4-4 guy. You hear coaches talk about it, but he is. And I think he's having his best year ever as a pro. An interception tonight. He now has 6 on the season. And that was a great play that he made to knock the ball away from Narcisse.
Been a good night for Baker, the Saskatchewan punter. He is clearly outdistanced Louis Pasaglia punt for punt. And a fine punt by Baker, who goes down and looks for the flag. Crawford on the run inside his 5-yard line is spilled. Baker was clearly hit, and a flag was not thrown. And what a great punt that Terry Baker unloaded. And Matt Dunnigan does not have his helmet on. He is on the sidelines, and Rick Foggy is in the game, and no, Matt Dunnigan is not injured, or so we are told. This is a coach's decision to start the fourth quarter deep in his own zone with rookie Rick Foggy. Who will throw a pass. No, he won't. He goes down, scrambling to get back to the line of scrimmage.
We just saw Dunnigan's statistics, 16 of 22. That is not all that shabby. And what a pressure-packed situation to put a rookie in a most important football game. Foggy is a good talent. He lacks experience, but he's going to get some here tonight. Oh, my goodness.
Well, maybe the intent was to have him try to run. He can do that well, but of course, so can Dunnigan. Foggy playing around in his own end zone and falls down there. Throws the ball away. That's 2 points.
They're calling it an incompleted pass, but he was in the grass.
Don't you have to call it...
yeah, he was in the grass.
Or don't you have to call it intentional grounding? Either way, I think Saskatchewan deserves 2 points.
Well, whatever you call it, I think John Gregory feels pretty good about this quarterback change on the other side of the field.
You know, often we've heard people say, here's Foggy now as he rolls out to his left. Saskatchewan's right out there. He slips and falls on the turf now. He throws it.
Well,
very close call.
Who does he throw it to, though?
I know, but I think he was hit as he was throwing it too, Dave. But I started to say, you know, a lot of people say, let the players determine the outcome of a game, not the officials. Well, I'll tell you, the officials are letting them play tonight.
Now, that should be 2 points for Saskatchewan.
I can't say I disagree with you.
Well, maybe the Riders will turn it into 7 because Louis Pasaglia must punt from deep in his own zone, but Saskatchewan arguing the call of incomplete.
You know, I would almost entertain the thought, I don't know if Larry Donovan is, of maybe conceding a safety right here and then giving Pasaglia the free kick because the Riders are going to have fabulous field position any way you look at it.
Well, especially with the way Pasaglia has been punting. He hasn't been hoisting the long ones tonight. And if he gets an average kick by average distance of this game anyway, the Riders indeed are going to be in good shape maybe for a Ridgeway field goal.
And there's still 14 minutes remaining in this football game, a lot of time. I'm not so sure that wouldn't be a bad idea. Give up the safety.
He's got a while to think about it with Jurison down on the field for Saskatchewan.
Well, the coaches have some time to think about it, too. Right now, Larry Donovan just staring out to his offensive unit.
Well, he'd only be giving the 2 points that he thought he'd given up perhaps for a moment there when he saw that ball, when he saw Foggy go down and then the ball come out. But after you escape that, maybe you don't want to give the 2 points.
Well, you've got to consider yourself lucky and hope that Louis catches a hold of one and sends it 50 yards as Bobby Jurison comes off, wiggling that neck a bit. I guess he just got a little bit stunned, jammed it in.
Why not give up the 2? Saskatchewan's probably going to get a minimum of 3 anyway.
Well, without moving the ball at all, the way Ridgeway can kick field goals. Pretty good punt by Pasaglia, but still not a long one. Richie Hall at the 35 to the 34-yard line. So, yes, right there you can think that Dave Ridgeway can kick 3 points, and now the Riders go looking for 7.
Well, it's easy to make the call from up here in the booth. Very difficult for those coaches under pressure on the sideline.
Well, you put a lot of pressure on your defense when you make a decision and go with something like they are.
From the 34-yard line, Kent Austin trying to get it all, and he throws it too far. And Francis was waiting to get an interception and would have done so if Narcisse had not tipped the ball away.
Well, Larry Donovan was telling us yesterday about the progress of Rick Ryan. You're looking at him, number 8, playing safety. Says the biggest asset he has right now is, you see Austin rolled and throw back, is his quickness and his smarts. Look at this. He's going for the football. He feels an interception. I can just imagine if he had tried to line up for the hit instead of going for the ball.
He played the role of the center fielder that time.
That's right. He did it well.
Austin at second down, and don't go back too far. Ridgeway's field goal becomes very difficult. Kent Austin made a mistake on that play. Mac Moore gets the sack, and they're back at the 45-yard line, making it a 52-yard field goal for Ridgeway if they try for 3.
few years ago, Mac Moore was an all-star in this league. Then he went down to the NFL, and he's back. And watch Moore now get rid of the blocker. Good speed by a defensive tackle as he runs Austin down from behind. Moore had his best game a couple of weeks ago against the Ottawa Roughriders, and he's starting to come on now in his play. He's a big talent.
Well, Ridgway has made a 53-yarder this season, but they will punt with Baker rather than kick with Ridgway. Short punt by Baker. This is a Foster's Lager telecast on the Canadian Football Network. Elgard and Dave Williams have 2 touchdowns each. The Riders lead because of a fumble recovery by Gary Lewis, and Rick Foggy, surprisingly, is in the game to start the 4th quarter and narrowly missed giving up 2 points on his last play. And it turns out the Lions were wise not to concede the 2 points on the next play. Foggy throws it up, and it is a little thrown a little too far for Eric Streeter, who left his feet to try to get to it.
Larry Donovan is shaking his head. That was the good call. The pass was just a little bit overthrown. Dunnigan concurring. Watch Foggy here now as he takes the snap from Sinclair, takes a 2-step drop, and he just tries to lay it up there. That's a timing pattern. He doesn't get to work that much with the receivers, and the timing was just a hair off. That could have been a big play.
Second out, Foggy's still trying to move the ball forward. He hasn't done it yet in his plays. There's a flag, and it looked like the Lions jumped along the offensive line. Left guard Gerald Roper moved, and the Riders moved as well, but if we saw it correctly, the penalty is against BC.
Interesting to see the front 5 or 4 of the Saskatchewan defensive line move just before the ball was snapped.
Illegal procedure, BC number 65.
If Rick Foggy wins this game, or helps the Lions win it, I suppose Larry Donovan doesn't have to answer the question, but right now the question really must be asked, what would put it in his mind to make a quarterback change like this?
I mean, all I can say is I don't know. You know, Dunnigan was stalled a little bit, but his numbers, and he was moving the football club earlier. You know, it's tough to figure out.
Foggy gets some time to throw this one and finds a receiver. Andrew Murray by himself for the first down.
Well, I'll tell you, you can see here why the BC Lions recruited Foggy so heavily in the offseason. He has a gun for an arm. He drops straight back, rolls to his right, looks downfield, good peripheral vision, then throws all the way across the field. That's a big throw, fellas, to Andrew Murray and a key first down. That should give the young rookie quarterback lots of confidence.
To a receiver that obviously wasn't his number 1 or number 2 choice.
Riders gave him time to throw. Now he runs with the little man, Taylor, and he carries an awfully big one on his back for a few yards. That's Gary Lewis on top of Reggie Taylor.
You have to be impressed with Reggie Taylor. 5'6", 175 pounds. You know, with his abilities, quickness, and speed, that he's very efficient to the outside. We've seen that. But he showed us some good strength there, Tom.
And what he showed me tonight is he's able to get yards when there's nothing there, and that's always a sign of a very talented back. You look for that.
Taylor again with room to the left side, and he doesn't use his speed, but rather what power he has, and enough of it for another first down.
That play was designed to go between the tackles and the guard. A great read by Taylor. He could see that it was jammed up inside. He elected to take it to the outside. A good job of running. He knew where he had to get to for the first down. That's an outstanding job of running the football, gentlemen.
On the ground with Jamie Terrace running to the 50-yard line. So Rick Foggy starting to settle down and move the ball. And Matt Dunnigan watches along with Larry Donovan and the coaching staff from the sideline.
See Matt Dunnigan right there signaling the play in. Either that or it's a dummy just to throw off the defense. Or he's ordering a pizza, one or the other.
6 yards to go on second down. Foggy dancing around, and he won't get the first down. Maybe a yard on the play.
One thing Foggy has to watch out for, he carries that football like a loaf of bread. Watch here. As he rolls out to his left, the protection breaks down. Good charge by the front four of Saskatchewan. And Foggy's got that ball hanging out there. The good teams will strip the ball away from him, and you can bet that the coaches will call that to his attention when they watch the game film. They call them tapes now, I believe.
Clausen helped out on the tackle. Pasaglia waits for the snap. The ball hit a Lion, and that amounts to no yards. Some rough stuff over on the sidelines. We don't see a flag thrown yet, but there has been one thrown for no yards against BC, so an unlucky bounce is going to hurt the Lions. Lead by 2 points, but we must repeat, they don't lead because of anything their offense has done in this second half. It's still incumbent upon Kent Austin to move the ball offensively if the Riders expect to win this game, and he tries with a first down pitch to Tim McRae.
Austin and McRae have had some success with that play to the short side of the field, get a couple big linemen out in front, good lead block, but they seem to have gone away from their game plan. Not working on the middle of the defense, not throwing the ball over Braswell, who has a hard time adjusting in his drops.
Good catch, fingertip catch by Elgard, and he has to worry about tacklers and holding onto the ball, and still he fights forward. Ray Elgard, clearly the offensive star of this game for Saskatchewan.
Boy, I second that. He's having an enormous football game tonight. This is a great fingertip catch. Excellent concentration by Elgard. Look at this. He's got the defensive back, Larry Crawford, pulling his arm away, and he's a load to bring down after he catches it.
He also positions himself very well between himself and the defensive back.
A much-needed Saskatchewan first down. Riders continue to run right into the teeth of that BC defense, but once more they're getting into field goal range for Dave Ridgway, and a three-pointer for Saskatchewan now would be mighty valuable. It would make a 2-point lead read 5 points. You saw Matt Dunnigan warming up on the sidelines. We can only wonder if he's coming back in the game. Austin is blitzed, and down he goes.
And at the bottom of the pile, James Quick Parker, and those are the kind of plays that football fans have been used to seeing, and he's a 3-time Shenley Award winner. Great competitor. He's really not playing on two healthy legs, but nobody can still go directly to the quarterback as well as James Quick Parker.
You know what he does so well is get up the field, make the blocker commit that he's going wide, and then stop, come down underneath when he's just about parallel to the quarterback and lunge to the quarterback. He does that so well.
Twice the Riders have been in Ridgway's field goal range, and Austin has been sacked to take them out of it, and Baker has come in to punt. So you wonder if Saskatchewan had been able to try field goals, what the score might be. But as it is, the Lions can kick a field goal and win it with 6:45 left. If no other points are scored, that is, because Saskatchewan leads right now 26-24. Matt Dunnigan has returned to quarterback the BC Lions with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. First down BC at the 20-yard line, and they are down by 2 points. Dunnigan had time. It starts to slip away from him now as he throws, and just like Foggy found a receiver over there, Dunnigan finds Dave Williams, and he's up near the 40-yard line.
Matt Dunnigan able to improvise. Watch the job that Reggie Taylor does on Lewis right there in front of him. Mismatch of about 100 pounds allows Dunnigan to get back deeper and throw the out, a long out, to Williams.
Dave Williams has 2 touchdowns for BC. And another catch. Mike Magruder playing off him, and Williams catching everything that's thrown underneath the defensive back.
That's another blue chip recruit that the Lions came up with in the offseason. Williams was a consensus All-American at the University of Illinois, a top draft choice of the Chicago Bears. He wasn't able to stick. But I'll tell you, he's really made an impact on this league. He's been an outstanding receiver. 2 touchdowns tonight, leads the league with 9.
3 yards needed for a first down. Taylor bounces off one tackler. And isn't that great running for a first down?
Well, the fans are on their feet again. This has been that kind of football game. Ups and downs by both teams. Reggie Taylor talking about a guy getting yards when there isn't any. He starts to his right. He breaks the tackle. Remember, he's only 5'6", 170 pounds. Then great quickness to the outside. Tremendous determined running. This kid is in the football game.
Boy, Vince Goldsmith couldn't have had a better shot at bringing Reggie Taylor down. And he missed it. And here's a pass thrown and intercepted. Dunnigan threw it, underthrew it, and Steve Crane was there for a very big play, the 5th BC turnover of the game.
Well, you see Albright go to your left. Crane's gone to the right to the flat area. He just does a great job of jumping the ball after it's thrown by Matt Dunnigan to get in the face of Anthony Parker and come up, and not only catches the ball when he hits the ground, with his arms out in front of him, he hangs onto it. That shock might have knocked the ball loose. Not this time.
From midfield after Crane's interception. Tim McRae's turn to break some tackles and get some yards. Following this game, we will select the Foster's most valuable player, and it's going to be a tough choice. Obviously, could be a player from either team. With less than 4 minutes to go and 2 points separating these clubs. Catch is made, first down at the sidelines. That is the first catch of the game for Jeff Fairholm, and a big one it is.
Tremendous protection by the Riders' offensive line. A lot of experience in there. Aldag, 13 years. Illebrun with 11. Austin back to pass. Look at that protection. They just knocked those guys right at the line of scrimmage. Fairholm with a great catch for the first down.
Riders at the BC 42. McRae reaching for the 34-yard line. They've got to go another couple of yards for a first down.
The Riders were able to do this same type of thing, control the football. When you control the ball on the ground like this, the clock can run. Brian Illebrun, 61, great block on Stuman. He kicks it back, and then he goes back up, and he's running tough for those yards.
And McRae read the block, boy. That was a great cut up the field.
Milson Jones hit in the backfield, and he won't get anything close to the first down. But this time, the Riders are in position to try a field goal. This CFN game is brought to you by Foster's Lager. Range on 2 other occasions. The Riders can try for 3 points this time. And Ridgway, who seldom misses, doesn't when it counts now. The Saskatchewan Roughriders lead by 5, and the Lions are going to have to think touchdown instead of field goal with 2:29 to go.
Dave Ridgway has been fighting a sore back for the last 4 or 5 weeks. He said today before the game it's almost 100%. Got that sore back carrying some heavy weight. Their boards up to a room that they're building for what he and Nancy are expecting a child in the next couple of weeks. So got to learn to hire somebody to carry that drywall or whatever it is that he hurt himself with.
Well, if there is a better field goal kicker in all of professional football, better than Dave Ridgway, I don't know who he is. He is just having a banner year. He came into this game connecting on 32 of 36 field goals. He's 2 of 3 tonight. A great clutch kick right there to give the Riders a little breathing room. The Lions need a touchdown now to go ahead. I think the one thing, gentlemen, that has impressed me the most about this football game tonight has been the intensity level and the effort put forth by both teams. It would be a shame to see either team lose this kind of game.
You take the little bit of chippiness that we have seen out earlier on, and you're right. I think the level of intensity has been as high as we've seen this year, and that usually produces great football.
Nice deep kick by Ridgway to Drawhorn, and he's not down yet. Anthony Drawhorn touched with his hand, but not with either knee, and he's up to the 42-yard line, giving the Lions pretty good field position. With 2:21 to go, it is Matt Dunnigan at quarterback. There shouldn't be any doubt about that, but we have to look after Rick Foggy started the fourth quarter.
Dan Rasevich, all CFL player type when it comes to special teams. He does a great job of getting down the field, taking on a block, and not chasing anybody. You see, he moves laterally very well, keeps the play in front of him, makes it so when it does come at him, he takes it to his inside shoulder and makes a tackle.
And Drawhorn also made an outstanding play. Great balance. He went down. It looked like he was going to be tripped up by his shoelaces. He put his arm down to keep his balance, and that enabled him to get maybe another 13 or 14 yards on the return.
Now, the guy to watch on this drive for the Lions is quite obviously David Williams. He has been able to beat both Saskatchewan corners tonight, Harry Skipper and Mike Magruder. It's Magruder he's against now as Williams flanks left or to the top of your screen. Dunnigan plays fake and a screen pass. Good catch by Parker for starters. And a pretty good run as well.
Rick Klassen did everything right for the Riders, the defensive tackle. We've talked about how pumped up he is. He goes right down the line of scrimmage. He read the draw play. Watch him right there. Watch the stiff arm from Parker. Big, strong guy. And he picks up yardage maybe he shouldn't have made.
Gain to the 48. Dunnigan waits and throws and wide open. Over the middle is Carinci. He had the first down, dives for whatever else he can get. Inside the Saskatchewan 50. No BC huddle with 2 minutes to go. All sorts of time for what Matt Dunnigan is trying to do, and that is put the ball in the end zone, put the Lions into the lead, very likely with a touchdown that could win them the game. From the 49 of the Riders, Dunnigan throws it deep. It's Williams out there. He's got it.
There's nothing like the long home run bomb in football. Look at this. Magruder trying to keep up. A little push there by Williams. He sees the ball all the way over the arm, and a great throw by Dunnigan. This place is going wild. This is the most entertaining football game I've seen since last year's Grey Cup that was played here at the Dome, back and forth. Well, I'll tell you, they don't come any better than this.
The Lions would like to think about trying for two on the convert. They lead by a single point now. If they make a two-point convert, they would lead by 3, and the Riders could not win the game with a field goal.
You know, David Williams, you won't see it here, but when he comes off the ball, he releases to the outside of Magruder. That gives him the distance to go around and puts him in position to make that catch. If he goes inside, Magruder can push him closer, further into the field, but that outside release really puts the receiver at the advantage.
Well, I'll tell you, this is when the cornerback, he's out there in no man's land. We said Williams, a top talent, a consensus All-American, and he just did the job. He beat him one-on-one.
Remember now, if the Riders could ever pick up a fumble or intercept a pass here and go the length of the field, they could score the 2 points, and the Lions have to be a bit careful, but they get the 2, and guess who, too? David Williams, number 2.
Well, I don't know about the most valuable player in this football game. I personally was leaning to Ray Elgard, but I'll tell you, this Dave Williams, I think, has just picked up the ballots. 3 touchdowns and a 2-point convert.
See Carinci goes the outside. Williams comes in. Magruder has to fight to the front. There's no way he can knock that ball down. Dunnigan sticks it in his chest, and of course he makes the catch. Straight drop, 4-step, boom, right over the middle before the linebacker can get in the face.
And again, the Riders were in man-to-man defense. Magruder one-on-one with Williams, and as you said, the good receivers can do is they get position on the defensive back, and that's what Williams did.
Exactly. In a situation like that, everything's on his side. He knows the defender that has to cover him is behind him. Makes a quick cut. If Dunnigan gets the time as he did, it's 2 points.
It's been a thriller, and it's not over. Teddy Ferdinand for Saskatchewan, but the Lions are sure pumped up as they go after him. And they get him down short of the 40-yard line. Dave Williams has done it all for BC on the end of passes from Matt Dunnigan. He's caught 3 touchdown passes and maybe a very important 2-point conversion pass.
Well, this is where the crowd now is really going to come into play. This is going to be a very difficult series for the Riders and their young quarterback, Ken Austin.
Well, it's an offense that has not performed in the second half as it did in the first half. Austin must change that now. Not with that from Milson Jones. A very, very short game, but Kevin Kohner is there to stop him. And now it's the Riders up to the ball without a huddle. Clock moving after the completion. Austin throws, and Ray Elgard isn't through in his personal duel with David Williams. Elgard makes the first down catch and keeps the Riders' hopes alive.
You'd see that Austin's comfortable with Elgard. He's looking to him right away. Probably he'll throw the ball in there even if the coverage is tight because he knows he can come up with a football.
Austin will go deep. He had his man there. There's a flag, and maybe that Saskatchewan receiver was held up by interference.
Andre Francis, I think he's going to be the guy detected. He grabbed him because he was beaten cleanly.
Yep.
Remember earlier we talked about experienced cornerbacks. They will take the penalty rather than give up the easy score. Francis was clearly beaten on the play.
Forward pass interference. BC number 14. First down.
That was a heads-up play. You hate to take a penalty in a situation like this, but in that particular circumstance, boy, I'll tell you, it was a good one.
Austin will try it again. The man is there. That's Elgard for the touchdown.
The BC Lions play 80% man coverage. See safety Ryan, number 8, comes into your screen. Elgard turns him around. Once the back of the defender is towards the quarterback, the receiver's in control.
You know, I'm wondering where the cornerback, I mean, the inside halfback was on that play. Rick Ryan, all of a sudden, the safety had him all alone. Somebody came up to force the run. It was Larry Crawford, and he's a very experienced player. He did not play his position that time. Boy, is this some kind of game or what, guys?
Ridgway with the convert. The Lions were leading by 3, and now the Riders are back in front by 4. And I've been waiting all season to say this, so please, if you'll let me, this is typical Canadian Football League action at the end of the game. We have not seen a high-scoring, back-and-forth fourth quarter like this. I haven't anyway. And this is one of those that makes the reputation the league has.
We've seen some individual performances tonight by players from both teams. Dave Williams, 3 touchdowns, a 2-point convert. Ray Elgard, 8 receptions, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns. Elgard has had some great games in his career, but he's never had a better one than this.
Well, Dave, you said it. It was 1:47 when Saskatchewan got the ball back. You said it isn't over. There's now 1:12 left, and you can say it again.
It isn't over. Ray Elgard and David Williams should perhaps go to the 55-yard line and arm wrestle for the 2 points, because it's been a duel in every other sense by the 2 receivers. Williams has a few more yards, but they've each caught 3 touchdown passes, and here come the Lions back. Down at the 41-yard line is Drawhorn with 1:05 to go. And why wouldn't Dunnigan look to the same guy again, Dave Williams? And what's Saskatchewan going to do about it if he does?
Well, you might think that they won't go to a man coverage situation. They'll go to a 3 or 4 deep zone, so they can't be beaten deep. Drop the linebackers off, make him throw the ball underneath. Try to force Dunnigan to put the ball where they want it to go, rather than where he wants it to go.
Short one out of the backfield, and Parker would have liked to get out of bounds. He didn't, couldn't. So the Lions have to hustle to the ball with exactly 1 minute to go.
Riders will give the Lions all the plays they want like that because time is now working against BC. Less than a minute to play.
Magruder playing way off Williams, and again they throw it underneath to Parker. This time he does get out of bounds. Says he has the first down before he did, and so does everybody else in the BC bench, but they're ruling him out at the 50.
You know, I mentioned that cornerbacks have to have speed, agility, brains, but they also have to have toughness. These little guys have to be able to come up and force the run. Anthony Parker, difficult to bring down. Magruder did a big job to prevent him from getting the first down.
They've got more than a yard to go on third down, and obviously will try to get it. Let's see if they can. Taylor gets the first down to midfield.
Tom, you said a little bit earlier that maybe the fastest guy in the team is Andre Francis. You know, Reggie Taylor might give him a good run. I heard he runs a 4.36.
This is a very smart thing right now, and the Lions are going to be called for it, too. I think they might think that they're intentionally trying to take a timeout.
Well, they've thrown a flag for some reason.
Objectionable conduct. BC number 16. First down.
Oh, against Matt Dunnigan.
Yes.
And that's simply for arguing the position of the ball on the previous play.
You know, these are the type of things, though, winning football teams do not do. And that's lose your poise and take bad penalties. The Lions have had so many objectionable conduct penalties called, enough for 5 seasons. And here you have your #1 leader, Matt Dunnigan. And I know it's a pressure-packed situation, but you cannot afford to take that type of penalty in the dying seconds of a football game. Larry Donovan is giving the officials an earful. He's maybe lost his cool a little bit, too.
11-4. That tells the story right there. And then not only is it 11 penalties against 4, but they've not come at good times. You can take some penalties and have them pile up against you, offsides procedures, but when they're spearing objectionable conduct, that is a discipline problem.
Well, they were at midfield. Now they're back at their 45. Dunnigan running around, and he's got a lot of room to run. There's only a couple of blockers with him. He'll get out of bounds. He'll get the penalty yardage back and make a couple more to the 53 of Saskatchewan. It took him 9 seconds to do that, but the clock is stopped with 26 seconds remaining.
And the clock has certainly ticked down to the point where now Matt Dunnigan has to think about throwing the football up the field. The 5- and 6-yard dump passes won't get the job done now. He's got to hope for a miracle, and #2 is as good a guy to go to as any.
That wouldn't be a miracle if he threw it to him the way they have played together tonight. Williams over on the left. Dunnigan throws it to the right. Catch is made by Andrew Murray at the 46. It is just shy of a first down with 22 seconds to go. So it's another third down play. They'd rather not be wasting time trying to get a yard or two, but that's what they have to do. Dunnigan for the first down to the 39, maybe the 38, with 18 seconds to go.
Time for maybe 3 more plays, I would say. Does Dunnigan now try to go for it all, or does he still try to just work it down the field? No huddle. Here they go.
Right now, he throws it to Dave Williams. No, he doesn't. The ball comes loose. Dunnigan waited just maybe half a second too long. He was all ready to go deep, and the time ran out on him, and the ball came loose, and the Lions are lucky they recover it.
He said he wanted to go to Dave Williams. He was looking over there. There's no question. Look at him look to his right now. His left, our right. He just doesn't have the time.
Williams has just made a long run and is just now getting back to the line of scrimmage. So can they try and send him deep again? Here comes the blitz. Dunnigan buys some time, gets away from 2 men, throws it away. Incomplete. 4 seconds to go. He's going to have one more crack at it. and Williams didn't go very far at all that time. So he'll try to take all the time he's got to get his breath back.
I really like the call by the Riders defensively. They did not go into their prevent defense. They attacked quarterback Matt Dunnigan. They came with the halfback blitz. Little Richie Hall just shot right through there, forced Dunnigan out of the pocket. That is aggressive defensive football.
It's the time where you have to draw on everything you've got as a defensive player. They're going to be throwing 3 receivers to the left. The Hail Mary's going.
There it is. It worked late in the first half, but not late in the second half. The game is over, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have defeated the BC Lions by a score of 36-32 on Ray Elgard's third touchdown catch with just over a minute to go.
Here you see it, 3 receivers. Williams to the outside. Watch him start to hone in on this ball. It's gone. And I'll tell you, if anyone's going to get it, look at him lay out for it.
You know, if you could have seen the Rider front 4 after the final play, they were totally exhausted. They were laying down on the field. I'll tell you, both of these teams are spent tonight. The effort was outstanding. It's a shame one team had to lose.
Well, it's a very big feeling for John Gregory and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who temporarily, at least, are tied for first place. The Riders win their 3rd straight, hand the Lions only their 2nd loss at home this season. For a while, it looked like Dave Williams' 3rd touchdown catch with 1:47 to go would win it for the Lions. But with 1:12 to go, Ray Elgard's 3rd touchdown catch of the game won it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, as Elgard was by himself running past safety Rick Ryan and into the end zone. And our Foster's Lager MVP is Ray Elgard. Ray, tell me what happened on the winning touchdown play. We were surprised to see you that far in the open.
Yeah, on that last play, they brought the halfback blitz, left me and Rick Ryan. Ryan had to come over and cover man-on-man, and we just had a good play call for it.
Our numbers, unofficial though they are on the screen. 8 catches, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns for you. Do you have a game in your career that rivals this one?
I had a big game in college one time. First time my father ever saw me play, but it wasn't as big in yardage or touchdowns. But, you know, so this is the biggest as far as that goes.
You started the season wanting, hoping, and trying to make the playoffs. For those Regina fans and for you fellows who've had some tough times, now you're tied for first place. Do you want more than just making the playoffs?
Oh yeah, definitely. We figure we're pretty close to being in the playoffs right now, but we're trying to get, you know, home field advantage if we can in the first game, or the bye if we can into the final, you know, coming in first. So that's what we're going for, is first place.
Ray, while you were on the sidelines, you were obviously watching what Dave Williams was doing. Did you feel this was almost a personal duel between the two of you, that whoever caught the most yardage or most touchdown passes might be on the winning team?
No, I didn't think that for a minute. You know, I'm just watching the game and trying to do my best and hoping our defense can stop them, and, you know, it worked out in the end. But, you know, I don't look at it that way at all. You know, he had a great game himself. You know, I don't know how many yards he got, 3 touchdowns or something, and, you know, it's a tribute to him, but I'm just, you know, glad we came out on top.
Okay, next is Hamilton back at home, and with a 3-game winning streak, you have to feel very good about that game and about what's happened in the past 3 contests.
Yeah, we do feel pretty good about it. You know, we're in good shape as far as the playoff race goes. You know, Hamilton's going to be a tough game, but we're going to be cranked up. We got a couple days off to, you know, rest some guys and heal up some injuries, so it should be a pretty good game.
Ray, congratulations. This was great entertainment, and the wide receivers on both sides certainly helped to make it that way, but nobody was more valuable, more outstanding in the end than Ray Elgard, number 81 of Saskatchewan. The Riders win it by a score of 36-32.